been a long road since the original Kicker christened that first pickup truck. It kicked off a car audio renaissance, and upgrading your music in a vehicle was a requirement. America's music machines became living loud over your passion, your emotion, your existence. Outdoors or on the open road, your sound is Kicker.
It's the Kip and Dave Show.
Excitement.
Are you ready?
22. We're doing it one more time. We're going to do another one. We're going to do this right this time.
Weeka.
Check. I'm speedless.
Camera adds 27 pounds. It just seems like a
I know,
abrupt it's just
kind of, yeah.
This is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. This is Kip.
And Dave.
And I got it wrong again. And we're going to have to do this again because we went down a different trail. Until then, this is Dave.
And Kip.
Come check us out. Come check us out.
Yeah.
Wiki.
I think that's good.
Just pick one. God, I hate the ending. There's no way to end this.
Just say, come see us. Just come see us. And just come see us.
So.
Come see us at the two locations.
God, it just seems so hard.
Oh, howdy. Delmar Hogwallop here, coming to you from outside Mildred's bait shop and lingerie. Would appreciate you all coming, giving a look-see in on the Kicker UnMASKED show. Those folks at Kicker, salt of the earth, make some of the finest gear ever tickle your ear. So, mighty fine of you to come take some time off and check them out. And remember, whether you're looking for night crawlers or nighties, Mildred's is your place. So once again, hey, son, put down that armadillo and get some pants on. Oh, my Lord, kids.
Music is my passion, my livelihood, and it's in my DNA. My pals at KICKER Marine Audio gave me a chance to take the music, what I love and listen to, at home, on stage, and in the car, onto the water. Hi, this is Jason Bonham, and I want to say a big thank you to my friends at KICKER Audio for inspiring the songs and the stories behind the music that inspires America. Go overboard!
The KICKER Quad Box is the most insane, ground-pounding, bass head-loving, preloaded subwoofer enclosure we have ever offered. It consists of 4 L7R 12-inch subwoofers. It has a total power handling of 2,400 watts RMS, and it's tuned at an amazing 31 hertz. Here to tell us more about it is KICKER's very own Jeremy Brown.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Brown. I've been with KICKER for 22 years. I work in the research and development department. In the early 2000s, I would run the Gates Bronco at shows like Daytona. We would do hair tricks, 48 10-inch subwoofers with 48 1,000 watt amplifiers. Really big build back in that day. We were able to develop some high output enclosures that were up above the 170 dB mark. We set a few world records with some of those enclosure designs and our woofers. We learned a lot about high output enclosure designs during that time, and we've been able to bring that to our product lines today. Within the last year, we introduced a new subwoofer enclosure with 4 L7R12s that we call the Quad Box. Our Quad Box is built out of 3/4 inch birch. It's got a 1.5 inch baffle and a 1.5 inch bottom. We also use window frame bracing along with corner bracing to make the enclosure more rigid. We use a flared port to reduce port noise and increase port surface area. This type of vent design helps maximize output. We use the L7R 12-inch subwoofers because this allows you to use one KXA 2400.1 amplifier, and you still get big bass with fewer upgrades to your charging system. The KICKER Quad Box is the bass head starter kit, and if you're worried, it plays way below 40 hertz.
Do not attempt to adjust this transmission. We have assumed control.
The year is 1980. Music fights for its very survival in an acoustically desolate wasteland man calls automobile. Enter Steve Irby, a man whose love of music helped end this scourge forever and forge a path for modern car audio to follow. A humble musician with a passion for quality sound, Mr. Irby is a man who feels it is his destiny to provide a sanctuary for mobile audio. Welcome. Join us this evening as we venture back to the very night a young Steve Irby gains his inspiration to create the legacy we know today as KICKER Performance Audio. Though he does not realize it now, by this time tomorrow, Mr. Irby will have completed blueprints for the original KICKER and champion the war against mobile audio inequality. Tonight, Mr. Irby's prayers will be answered as he begins his quest into the Q Zone. KICKER L7QB8. With roots dating back to KICKER's inception, Mr. Irby and his team of engineers have achieved an unrivaled level of design and functionality. With extraordinary bass and a minimal footprint, the L7QB8 utilizes a seamless 1/4 inch extruded aluminum housing, allowing optimal internal air volume for the subwoofer. This exclusive design provides exceptional strength and stability. Like the original KICKER, the L7QB8 incorporates a unique passive radiator to minimize required airspace while optimizing the efficiency and frequency response of the subwoofer. Opposite the passive radiator, the L7QB8 is equipped with the all-new 8-inch L7 square subwoofer. The 2016 L7 features an aluminum basket for exceptional strength and thinned aluminum heat sinks for efficient heat dissipation. KICKER's blue lace spider, solo cone 360-degree back bracing, and a laser-etched cone brace combine as a single ultra-rigid unit. The result is increased clarity, higher volume, and added reliability. The square cone features over 20% more surface area than round subwoofers. It's attached to a Santoprene surround, then stitched to the cone for long life and durability. This surround features KICKER's patented ribbed corners, which fully dictates cone motion and extends surround life. At the base of the unit, a pair of custom-formed flanges integrate seamlessly with an extremely low-profile mounting system, consisting simply of a mounting plate and bar. Once installed, the overall height of the enclosure is only 9.5 inches. This profile is small enough to work perfectly in countless trucks, sedans, and SUVs. Once again, KICKER sets a new standard with the groundbreaking design and unparalleled performance of the all-new L7 QB8.
This is where KICKER started, right here in this garage right back here. It was a great place, but just a little bit small. And after about 6 months, actually, we got kicked out of here. My wife said there's entirely too much sawdust seeping into the house from the garage. But this was the beginning right here in the garage on 1412 Eastern Street in this little house. Okay, here we are at KICKER location number 2 down on South Main Street in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And this is the little house that we moved into after we got kicked out of the garage. Here we are at KICKER location number 3. We spent about 7 or 8 years in this place. We moved from the little house right over here into the Quonset when we ran out of space. We had about 35 employees. Here we are, KICKER location number 4. This is up on top of the hill. It's a little bit windy here. We spent the years from 1989 until about 2006 here, until we moved into our new facility.
Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time. It is Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly, coming to you live, Stillwater, Oklahoma, here in the Kicker Unmasked Live Studios, or as Mr. Irby used to call it, his conference room. But that's just something we don't think exists anymore because it's a studio and we're not giving it up. How y'all doing this evening? This is Kip, your host. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Hope you had a great week. Hope you had a fantastic 4th of July holiday. I know all of us here at Kicker had a great time. Mr. Irby graciously allowed us to come and actually hang out in the parking lot. The cool part is the city actually launches all their fireworks right across the street at Boomer Lake. So we had a little shindig here for all the employees. So shout out to Steve and Becky. Thank you for doing that for everyone. We certainly appreciated that. JW set up the XRV. We actually had it here in the parking lot so the employees, so sometimes they don't even know what's going on event-wise marketing. So they got to go out and experience the XRV and see the new and improved Boom Room, which we're going to show that to a special guest later on tonight. We didn't get a chance to get to it right now, but we'll get to that later. So with all that said, everyone who's tuned into the show, you know what to do. There's a contest running right now. For those who it's your first time on the show, here's how it works. We actually launch a contest right at 7:15. We run it right up until 8:30. And when I speak times, understand I'm talking Central Time. That's Oklahoma time. So if you're on the West Coast, subtract 2 hours. If you're on the far East Coast, subtract another or add an hour to that, and then you'll have the correct time for that. So every time we think, it's Central Time here when I say time. So 8:30, we end the contest, and we draw 3 winners from that contest on tonight's show. So we'll do that sometime between 8:45 and 9 o'clock before we wrap the show up. We do have a special guest join us tonight. I'll get to that in a minute. I want to tease you a little bit, and then we'll let that cat out of the bag. But with our special guest, and we're drawing the winner for the Mobile Soundstage Engineering Contest tonight. That's with Mr. Mark Eldridge over in Bixby, Oklahoma. That lucky winner is going to get a seat, hotel room, tour here on the show live, and some cash to help cover their expenses. That lucky winner is going to have a good time on that. We already know who it is. We'll announce that winner later on this evening when Mark Eldridge joins us live for that announcement. So we've got a lot of great things going on tonight. It's going to be a fun-packed evening. Did I mention we have a special guest? You're going to love our special guest. So if it's your first time here, hit the link. It always scrolls across the bottom of the screen. If you check it out, we do everything. It's kicker.fun/, and tonight is MSE Vega. That is the link for tonight's contest. Go hit that anytime between now and 8:30 Central Time, and that'll get you entered. And again, like I said, we draw from the winners who are here watching the show, and we give those prizes away. The Mark Eldridge contest that I already talked about, that contest ended last night at midnight. We've drawn the winner. We'll announce them at the end of the show with Mark. And I think that kind of takes care of the contest things going on. Oh, if you could do us a favor. It really means a lot to us. As you know, this video is not monetized. We're not doing it for that reason. We do lots of demos and guests and things, but it's really for fun and knowledge about, car audio, the Kicker brand, guests, people in the industry, things like that. We really need to know if what we're doing is something you're enjoying. So if you can, you don't have to do it right now, but on the way out the door tonight, if you can just smash that thumbs up button or smash the thumbs down button and let us know what you think of the content. It really helps us know that the content we're creating is of interest to you, and it gives us direction on that. We also like comments in the feed, and if you've got a topic that you'd like to see covered on the show, whether it's a Kicker product, an outside guest, a particular helpful tip, or how do I do this, if you will please reach out to us at social@kicker.com, and it's just like it sounds, social, SOCIAL, at kicker.com. That is the email address to the one and only Bill Frog. And I know Ernie's going to do a little magic back there and see who's behind the scenes tonight. But we got Bill Frog back there. If you reach out to him through that social@kicker.com, those all land in his box. He will take all that information and make sure he gets this to all of us here in the Unmasked Live Studios so that we can plan all of our upcoming shows around topics that actually interest you. As always, we got JW back there again. He's back from vacation. He's back there helping with the comment section and things going on here. Hey, we got Mike Craner. Thumbs up for sure. What y'all do is amazing. Hey, Mike, thank you for that comment. You got a little bit of a camera shot there. I know Ernie flipped and flipped back, but we got JW back there handling the comment section and making sure StreamYard runs smoothly. We got Ernie, as always, back there trying to be the comedian with me, trying to make me look like a fool. And he doesn't take a lot of work because I'm good at doing that. Bill Frog, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Are you going to stop there. It's like a roulette wheel, so we're going to stop here. Bill Frog back there handling social. That's at social@kicker.com email address. And then Tim, he's back in the studio. We didn't have him last week, and boy, it was interesting. It was really kind of a lot more work to have to deal with 3 fixed cameras and not have a camera guy that can actually do things for us. We're going to do our best to keep him busy tonight because we got a pretty cool demo here, and we'll discuss why we have that demo here in just a few minutes. But Tim's back in the studio, and of course myself, so it's great to have the staff all back in. This is really the first show that everyone's been back from vacations and the unmasked, or the Kicker Country Stampedes. We're all here in the studio. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate that. Ernie, if we could real quick, bring up my laptop as an asset. I want to go over just a couple things real quick. The first one being, guys, if you want to know where we're going to be for the next upcoming events, Dune Fest, which is going to be going on in Winchester Bay, Oregon. That's July 27th through August 1st. Kicker is a major sponsor of that event. The XRV is not going to be at that event, but we are going to have our own Lauren Morrell, JW, Jeremy Wynn will be there, and Tracy Focht, who that's his region or territory for him. They will all be attending that event. Lauren will actually be there setting up a couple UTVs for us as well. So there will be Kicker things to see. It's just the XRV will not be on site. So if you're planning on seeing the XRV at this event, letting you know right now, it's not going to be there, but there will be Kicker personnel on site. The next one coming up, and anybody who follows the sport knows who these guys are, Outlaw Armageddon, the World Series of No Prep. That is going to be down at Thunder Valley Raceway Park, Noble, Oklahoma. Tickets are on sale now if you want to attend that. That's going to be coming up August 13th and 14th, as you can see here. Again, if you want information on any of these events, you can go to dunefest.com. This is outlawarmageddon.com. And scheduled right now at Outlaw Armageddon, XRV will be on site. We'll be doing some live feeds from the area. So that'd be a great show to come hang out with all the Kicker crew and see what's going on. Basically, everyone here in the studio will probably be at that event and then some. It's a great event to go to. Hope to see you there. Last but not least is Knowledge Fest, and that will be going down. There's actually multiple locations. We are signed up, and we'll be going to the one in Dallas. That is August 27th through the 29th. We will be there. Our special guest will be there as well, so that'll be pretty cool. So if you are in the industry, if you're part of the trade, if you're going to Knowledge Fest, be sure you come by the Kicker booth, say hi to everyone. We'll actually be doing an Unmasked live from Dallas and probably some short videos live as we go through and show you all the cool things that will be down there at the Knowledge Fest show. So those are just a quick touch on the events that are coming up where you can come hang out with the Kicker crew. I'm going to do a shout back to Jeremy. If you got any good comments or people got things to say, throw them up on the screen there for me, Jeremy. I'm going to look here as well, but if you got something, throw it out. Keep in mind the contest that's running tonight. If you're from Canada, if you're north of the border, you are now eligible for these contests as well. So if you're from the north, our good friends Jemson, which is our distributor up in Canada, works with us so we can include you guys. So understand if you are from Canada, you are open to all our drawings that we do here on a nightly basis. There are Canadian winners. They come join the feed. They verify, hey, I won. I'm from Canada. It just takes us a little longer to get your prize to you. But understand if you are from Canada, you do now qualify to enter any of the Kicker contests. Jesse C. We want Solo X release. Jesse C. So do we. I'm going to wait till we get our special guest on here. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. Solo X is the family of products. L7X is the first product coming, 10, 12, and 15, and it's coming along really well. We'll give you a little bit of update here in a minute. Williston Audio Labs. Good evening, Kicker Squad. Hey, there's our good friend from Williston Audio Labs. How you doing this evening, sir? Mr. Big D himself, Derek Wilson. Thanks for joining in tonight. We appreciate that, sir. I'm going through my notes here, see if I forgot anything. Got that, got that, got that, got that. Oh, we got that, and then we got that. So we got some great things going on. So I'd like to do real quick to kick this off so we can get him in the studio, because we've got a lot of things we want to do tonight and open up. And if you've been paying any attention to the teaser, you already know who the special guest is. Who am I fooling? But we have the one, the only, the man who never sleeps. He thinks CCA is a soda you drink, not a cable you run in your car. It'd be the one and only Mr. Robert HiFi Vega. And I know he's back there somewhere, so let's get him to come up and join us in the studio. I see him over there. There he's sauntering.
I couldn't think of a song. I always think it's so cool that you do a walk-up song.
You need a walk-up song?
I was going to do Some People Call Me a Space Cowboy.
Ah, that would work.
Some call me the Gangster Love.
Some people call me a space cowboy. Some call me the Gangster of Love.
We're going to get tagged. Some people call me Maurice.
Some people call me Maurice. Anyhow, there you go.
Demonetized instantly.
Instantly. Well, we don't monetize it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So go ahead and smash it. Actually, Robert reached out to us 3-4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he had some vacation time doing some things. His air conditioning in his house went out this morning, and he thought there's no better time to leave and let the wife deal with it all by herself than today.
Right.
So he's here. The air conditioning, did it get fixed?
It got fixed.
That's good, because hot wife, bad life.
Yeah, no. See, they had the hotel air conditioner set to 64 when I went in there.
Sure.
Absolutely ice cold, freezing. I couldn't take it, and I'm telling my wife, like, it's very, very cold in here, and she's like, shut up, I don't want to hear it.
So you seriously did have an air conditioner problem.
Right, yeah.
He was already scheduled to come here, so fortunately he said, I don't care what it costs, what it takes, get the air conditioning fixed. And she did.
At any cost.
At any cost. And fortunately, it was only like, it was $3.99 and a free bag of chips or something like that.
Something like that.
It was a lot less than you thought it would be.
It's got a warranty, though. So.
Everything's got a warranty. Right. 60 seconds or, till the taillights are out of view. But Mr. Vega, thank you for joining us here this evening.
Thanks for having me.
We've got some interesting things to do tonight. We promoted the show kind of as an Ask Us Anything show with having you on board, which we will do that. If you've got any questions you want to ask, get those in the feed. We'll throw them up on the screen. JW can get those. We'll look at those and try to answer those questions. We do have a couple things that we want to do tonight that are, I think, pretty cool. And the first one has to do with our winner from, was our winner from last week? Yes, you got to wait for the guys in the back to yell. And that would be Mr. Thomas Marshall. And Thomas was the grand prize winner last week, and he actually won the PXI BT 100.2. And Thomas reached out after he knew that he won, and he asked if everyone in the studio could sign his amplifier before we send it to him. And I thought, what's really cool is you're here tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be any better or any worse. Matter of fact, it'd probably be worth another $10 if you'd sign it.
It might be worth less.
Because if we sign it, it's worth about minus $5.
It's definitely going to be worth less. But I know Thomas Marshall. He's a good dude, so I will put my name on there.
So Thomas Marshall, hopefully you're watching tonight. It's with him being in the studio. Mr. Robert HiFi Vega himself, we're actually going to add him to the list. And we're going to do that live on the camera. We'll actually have everyone come out and sign this amplifier. But the other thing we thought would be pretty cool to do tonight is do an actual amplifier dyno on the unit that we're signing to send to you. And so we've got a setup here that's kind of old school for us. We have an oscilloscope. We have an SMD signal generator. It's going to give us our 1 kilohertz tone. We have a Lumi. I want to call it an O-scope, but we're not using this as an O-scope tonight for lots of reasons. This particular unit is... Ernie's laughing in the background because we coined a phrase. What was the phrase tonight, Ernie? Was it? Oh, I remember now. I can say I'm saying this on camera. We were trying to get this to be an O-scope, and it's kind of interesting. We're getting ready for the show. There's always that one thing that just keeps you from, are we going to make it? Ooh, you're rushing. And so we have come up to a conclusion that this particular thing, using it for an O-scope, this particular model, not all of them, but just this model, it's confirmed, even with our own technical staff, that this is a certiturd. So we do not want to use this for an O-scope. We are going to use it as a voltmeter. It works fine for that. So we have another device here that is not been certiturd certified.
Right.
So this one is unturda certified.
But just the Kip-isms are stacking up right now.
Ernie's back there laughing his butt off. I don't know if I can keep going on this as much as he's laughing. So we're using this as the oscilloscope. We're going to use this so we can actually read voltage, and this is our signal generator. So we're actually going to do an amplifier dyno. And what's crazy cool about it is who better to have on set? There's only one other guy I can think of that does amplifier dynos like you do, and that would be Big D himself.
Yeah.
So I know Big D, I know you're watching. Unfortunately, you're not here in the studio with us, but your partner in crime is stepping in, and we're going to do a live amplifier dyno. So any and every mistake that we can do is going to be here for the world to see. So we'll do the amp dyno. We're going to calculate the power and everything. We're going to do it right here. And then after we get done with the amp dyno, we're actually going to sign the amplifier for Thomas Marshall. So Thomas, hopefully you think this is pretty cool. We're actually going to do a live amp dyno of your amplifier. We're going to pack it back in the box and send it your direction. And it'll have all the signatures on there, including the one and only Robert HiFi Vega. I mean, that sounds like a great gift to me.
Sounds good. I will tell you that Kip run this on a 1 kilohertz sine wave for about an hour earlier. It still works. I don't know. They do things that we don't usually do around here.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, that is true. It's kind of interesting. We kind of noticed at the end, but we were trying to get the Certiturd to actually work as an oscilloscope, and it wasn't going to have that. And we were doing it for close to an hour. And during that entire hour that we were messing with it, that amplifier was sitting there playing a 1 kHz test tone, and it kept up and kept on going strong. So I guess that was a pretty cool that you got to see that in person.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to be blamed if it went bad, but I was worried the whole time. But I was like, Kip's got one go get out of jail free card. We might have to cash it in.
If that would have died, I think JW would have gave us grace, and he'd probably ordered another one that we could sign and send out to Tom. That, or we could sign the dead one and send it to Thomas, then send him a work one too. You never know. So with that said, here we got, Jesse Strawn, Certiturd. That is the new phrase that pays around here, and it'll get Ernie giggling every time. I promise you. He's giggling back there right now over the whole thing. So let's fire this up and try to do an amplifier dyno.
Do it.
You want to try to do it? So what we're going to do, we'll try to stay out of the way, keep our fingers out of the way. We've got to turn things on, and then Timmy's going to do his best job to come in on camera. If we need to move things to get a better view, we'll do that. So we're going to fire up the Lumi meter. We're using it as an AC voltmeter so that we can read the output from there. And to give you guys a real quick breakdown of what's going on here, we've got the PXI 100BT. We have a really, really substantial lithium-ion battery bank under the table, so we have plenty of power to run this thing for days if we need to. But coming out of that, we have a dual 2-ohm fixed resistor, so we have both channels of the PXI loaded down. We're measuring, obviously, one channel on here. This is providing us a 1 kHz test tone that's going into the auxiliary input. This is allowing us to see the output, or the O-scope, so you can see the sine wave itself. And then we'll see voltage, and then easy math, we'll be able to calculate power.
Easy, simple math. You got a calculator up here, though, right?
We got a phone. we can find a calculator. We'll figure that out. So let's turn this on here. Oh, there's Ernie. He's back looking at us. So we'll get this on. We'll change the range on this. Battery good. So we'll go up here, go to the mid-range. And there's 1.01, 990 there. That's right now. There's about 1 kHz. So if you will do the honors, turn up the volume control.
All right, let's go.
Let's do this, or try to do this.
You better watch out. I'm known to clip.
Hey, you're in the studio with Clip Litzy. You are allowed to clip in here a little bit. So maybe I'm going to, I can see he's got a good shot. So you can see that we're bringing up the signal. You can see the clean signal that's on the O-scope here. Timmy's out there doing camera duty on that. So keep going, keep going, keep on going.
Oh, we're getting close.
Keep going. There we go. And then go one more notch. Okay, so that right there, you can see, if Timmy will zoom in on that, you'll be able to see it. Right now, we're probably, and this is just based on personal experience of being in a lab down here, guys, that's probably sitting there right about 1% THD right there. It's somewhere between 1 and 3, which is where, products like this are rated. These are rated like a head unit, which actually, these things are, 10% THD is how most head units are rated. So It's kind of crazy how they rate head units, but this is kind of in the same ballpark as this goes. But as you can see right here, we're at about 1% THD, 1 to 3. And we're getting 10.22 volts. May I ever put this up so people maybe, there you can see it.
There you go.
Do a little better. There you go. 10.20 is what it's reading right now. So that's our voltage. And guys, it's real easy to calculate power if you got gear like this set up. You simply take your voltage. So I'm going to pull out my trusty calculator here. And we got 10.2. So the way you calculate this, you take 10.2 and you basically square it, which means multiply it by itself. So 10.2 times 10.2 is 104.04. I don't know if that'll come up on the camera or not. Maybe Tim can get that. I don't know if he can or not. So that's 104.04. And then what you do is you divide that number by the load or the resistor that you're running. And we're running a 2-ohm bank, so I'm going to divide that by 2. And so that comes out to 52.02. Maybe it'd be better if I do that. Is it easier to see there? It's just not big enough to see. But it's basically 104.04 divided by 2, and that comes out to 52.02 watts. This unit is rated to do 50 watts at full output, so I'd say we're right in the ballpark. And then go ahead and turn it down a click or two.
Yeah.
So let's go back up one click. So it's close. Down one's too far, one up's too many. So let's just go there. So that's 8.94. So we'll take 8.94 times 8.94. No, 9.4 Kip.
Yeah.
8.94 times 8.94. So 9 divided by 2. And so right at the clipping window, we're right at 40 watts, 39.96 watts. So I'd say the unit is meeting specs, no problem whatsoever. And
yeah, she's not hot.
She's not even warm at all.
You notice how Kip is just letting this run like this. This is not recommended. Me and Big D don't suggest that you do this. 1 kilohertz at clip signal for as long as Kip talks.
No, or do this probably. Let's do this. Let's go to
Thomas. If we blow up your amp, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we apologize.
It's Kip's fault if it's blown up. I just want you to know that.
Okay,
I'm an innocent bystander in this.
Okay, or there, you'll get that. We got 40 hertz.
40
hertz. Here, Timmy, can you get a shot of that? We're playing, it's 40.8. The knob is very sensitive, but we're even playing 40 hertz there, so full send. And that's at clean output. But let's turn it up a little bit and a little bit more. So there, let's run it back up that same voltage. So there's 10 volts. So does it pass 40 hertz? I'd say it seems past 40 hertz just fine. We're at 10 volts on the meter there. So what's cool about that is 10 times 10. It's 100. That's real easy. Do a 2 ohm load. Boom, 50 watts.
50 watts.
So does it do 50 watts at 1 kilohertz? Absolutely. Does it do 50 watts at 40 hertz?
Yeah.
Apparently it does. So
the best part about 1 kilohertz is you can hear the transformer working.
Yes, true. It sings well, doesn't it? But we thought this would be really cool to actually, do a live amplifier dyno on the actual amplifier that we're going to be signing and sending you, Thomas Marshall. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully everyone else who's tuned in got a kick out of this, actually seeing a live amp demo, a live amp demo. Live amp dyno. Yeah. Say that 3 times fast.
This is a Kip and Dave scene right here.
It is. Throw it away. But this is, if you're really wanting to see, when the amplifier clips, you need an O-scope so that you can actually look at that sine wave. You need to have a tone, whatever tone you want to use. 1 kilohertz is pretty common for doing testing. Of course, if you're doing a bass amplifier, a lot of Class D amplifiers, you want to use 40, 50, 60 hertz, somewhere in there. We did both, so you can see that what it does, it passes that frequency. It does really well on both of those. Read the voltage. So I'd say mission accomplished.
Yeah, we didn't blow it up. It's still good.
So with that said, I don't know how Ernie wants to do this as far as camera duty, but we want everyone to sign this. So what I'm thinking is, let's start with you.
All right.
So have you come around, we'll have you sign it, we'll let Timmy get you signing it, and then I guess we'll work through the line, and then we'll have Tim come up and I'll play cameraman and we'll get on, because I want everyone to see we're signing it for Mr. Thomas Marshall.
All right.
All right, cool. So we have a brand new, ready to go, silver Sharpie.
All right, let me see. Should I take up the biggest spot?
You can take up as much space as you want to your HiFi Vega.
Yeah, I take up enough space with my mouth.
Check that out. So Thomas, there's the first signature on your amplifier. We got Mr. HiFi Vega. He has got his signature on there. So I guess I'll go next. That way we can get the rest of the guys in here. And there we go. There's my official, hopefully you can read it, signature. Let's, Timmy, let's get you next.
If y'all notice, me and Tim have the same shorts because we have the same good taste.
That is
in leisure wear.
In leisure wear. Thank you, Sir Tim. The one, the only, coming in from right field, Mr. Bill, Frog. Now, are you going to sign it Bill or Bill Frog or Bill Brown? How are you going to sign it? Bill Frog.
Well, what do you want?
Rochambeau.
It's not my amp. You tell me what you want. Bill Frog.
Bill Frog. Bill Frog?
The public has spoken.
Bill Frog. It's Bill Frog.
Fine. Well, where? Do you want to? I'm going to do mine on the side.
Sure, go ahead. Okay. Drive in a different lane, Bill.
Yeah. Where else would Bill sign? He didn't even quotation the frog. He just owned the name fully now.
He is. It's Bill Frog.
It's Bill Frog.
I'm changing my driver's license.
Next up to bat, we got Mr. JW, Jeremy Wynn. And guys, you know, this whole unmasked production, Jeremy, sometimes he doesn't know what he's got a hold of here because this is actually an event. You know, the Kicker Unmasked Live is a Tuesday event we do every week, and it falls underneath Jeremy's camp. And so I don't know if he's here because he enjoys it or if he's just protecting himself. I don't know which yet.
Yeah.
Well, he sure doesn't like us.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's JW sign, and now we got Ernie himself, headset and all.
Yeah.
Let's see. You know, Jesse Strawn, he was the gentleman that won our first pizza giveaway over in Tulsa, or around Tulsa. He said, tonight we're going to do the wire torture test again, but with CCA, and HiFi Vega has to hold onto the cable for the full 10 minutes. Man.
No, I don't agree to that. That's not good. Yeah.
They are. Here we go. We got to get this. Tony, on July 4th, the Declaration of Independence was signed. On July 6th, it was Thomas Marshall's AMP. We are celebrating audio independence on the 6th. Maybe this is a new day.
Might as well.
We're signing
a Bill Frog signature, so it's legit.
The Declaration of Dyno Passing, I guess, is what this is going on here, and we signed it. That's a good one, Tony. Thank you for that, sir. Rob, did you steal the woofers out of the quad box?
No, I noticed that. I noticed that.
That's actually a box that we've got here that doesn't have drivers in it, and we used it on one of the shows. We actually went in with the camera. Tim got in tight, and we showed the construction inside. You know, the corner gussets, the window bracing, the fact that it is plywood. It's birch plywood that we're using to construct that. And so there's no drivers in it because we took them out for that show, and we've just never put them back in. But, you know, we've got the one sitting here in the Fiat ready to go, and it's got drivers loaded in it. So there's always that one to look at.
I will say I did talk to Mr. Irby today about stealing Kip away for his 2024 presidential run. We don't know what the cabinet's going to be yet, but we're going to be there.
I'm working on it. We're going to get it done. And you know what? It's pretty cool. Thomas Marshall. This is so cool, gang. So, Thomas, you're the winner. Brother, I hope you enjoyed this. It's really cool that we were able to sign them. We were going to sign it on the show either way, but the fact that HiFi was here, I think, makes it even more special for you, man. So thanks for the contest. Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning into the show. Hope you enjoy this when you get it. It is fully signed now. So I'll let Timmy kind of close up in here. And then
Bill Frog.
Bill Frog on the side. So Thomas, just so you know, we actually grabbed another harness out of warranty so that we could hook up and do this dyno test. You're actually going to get a brand new harness that hasn't been crimped or cut or anything. Brand new harness. Amp's been dynoed and tested. It'll be packed back in the box, and we'll get that headed your way. And again, thank you for tuning in to the Unmasked Live Weekly Show. We hope you enjoy it. And thanks to everyone who tunes in. You know, it's our pleasure to be able to just have these little contests every Tuesday night and let you guys get a little taste of Kicker love. You know, whether it's shirts, whether it's hats, whether it's earbuds, or, you know, when we give away Kicker products. So thank you all for tuning in and watching. That was pretty cool. And I really am glad that Robert was here for this. Real quick, just to let everybody know, we're coming up, look at the clock here, it looks like about 7:59. Means you got about 30-ish minutes to enter tonight's contest. So if you haven't entered that contest yet, you understand you got up until 8:30 Central Time, and that is kicker.fun/ and tonight is MSE Vega. I know Bill's got that scrolling across the bottom of the screen there to let you know, but just give you a heads up, you got 30 minutes for that. So, with that said, what do you want to talk about tonight?
What do you want to talk about? We can talk about Kipisms. We can start there. Maybe we could talk about amps.
You know, my problem is, I'm from, and you know what's funny is they must have called it the Midwest when it stopped at the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Because Ohio Valley is not, you look at the whole map and go, that's not the Midwest.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they called that the Midwest when everything stopped at the Mississippi River. But I'm from the Midwest, and so I suffer from things like, well, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not day, D.
D.
I take my licks like a champion. You know, coming from the Midwest, there is such a thing as wash and wash. Wash is not mispronouncing wash. It's two different things.
Yeah.
You wash your clothes. You wash your car. It's just two different things that you do. You know, it's soda or it's pop. Well, to me, it's always been pop. You know, not soda. What's this thing? Soda. Soda
or Coke. We just call it Coke a lot.
Coke. That's true too. What do you got? We have Coke. What kind of Coke? Oh, Mr. Pibb, Mountain Dew, Sprite. You know, they're all Coke products. So it's, you know, you talk about that, but it's one of those things that I'm proud to be from the Midwest. I was fortunate enough to get a job and come here to work for Kicker. I'm actually I'm in my 25th year with Kicker, and it's gotten to the point where being able to do this show every Tuesday night is kind of a fun way to give back to the audio community. We love you guys tuning in. I mean that sincerely, and I love the fact that we're able to get special people like this gentleman on the show, that we can let them talk to you, be on our show. Marcus Nance, Kicker is Basshead certified and Basshead approved. Oh. Marcus, 2 thumbs up for that.
Yeah, when he said special, I hope he's talking about special, not like special.
Well,
we don't know.
I've been accused of worse. You know, I know that you have kind of, and there have been times like, I know you remember it. There was one night that you and Dean were going on about wire, and there were people, and of course I can't catch every show, but I catch a lot of the shows. Something got a battery going dead?
No, I think it just shut itself off.
Just shut itself off. Good. Yeah. Beep, beep, boop. And Dean and you were talking, and there were questions going on in the, I think it's that one. We're going to turn him off. Yeah. And one of the things came up is a gentleman asked a legitimate question about, well, should I go with OFC or CCA wire? And I know you and Dean, and I know you do, you just trolled the guy. And it was just like, oh yeah, definitely, you know, definitely CCA. Yeah. And I'm in the feed. Yeah. You could see my head was exploding.
Yeah, we know you melted down. It was a full Kip meltdown. And the problem is you let me and Dean see that. And you already know me and Dean are a bit of trolls anyway.
Oh yes.
So once we seen that, it was like, I looked in his eye, he looked in my eye, and we knew exactly what was going down.
So they definitely had some fun with me that night. And so I'm there in that feed, and I'm trying to, because this guy took it as legit info. He's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go get me some, I'm CCA. And I'm like, no, guys, stop. And so I was just going on that because, you know, we've done 2 shows, The Science of Wire. Yeah. Which there's really a lot of great things that I think came out of those 2 shows. I think it caused us to focus on our amplifier design and what we do for design, which I think we need to do an even deeper show on that sometime in the future. And that was based off of how long the amplifier dynos are running. But legitimately, the reason we did those shows, and you're an accessory guy. I mean, you're into accessories, you're into wire, and I know you're not into CCA, although you wear that badge proudly. Right. But guys, it's not that we have anything. I mean, you can use CCA if you want to. What we're trying to show and prove in those 2 episodes we did is that a single run of 1 gauge of that wire versus the same gauge in copper cannot do the same thing. If you're going to use CCA wire, you got to at least go up 2.5 times, which means run 2.5 strands more of the CCA versus just running copper to begin with. So when you look at the extra space you're taking up, when you look at the extra money you got to pay, because now it's 2.5 runs instead of 1, you're really not saving space, you're really not saving money. And if you watched either of those episodes, you saw the difficulties that we had getting power supplies and things to stay on and operational reliably because they were trying to use CCA wire versus copper. On the copper test, every single time, it just kept going.
Well, the thing about power is, if you don't get it from one point to the other efficiently, it turns into heat. Power is always heat. So when you run over CCA, it's going to get hot. No matter what you do, it's going to get hotter in copper.
You know what's funny about that is it doesn't matter what you use. Every single thing here has resistance to it, and you're going to have loss through it. There's even loss through copper. It's just a lot less loss through copper than there is copper-covered aluminum. And you know, aluminum wire, in homes, they don't even recommend it anymore, although you can use aluminum to run up to your home. Most municipalities will let you run total aluminum from the main pole up to your home to the breaker box, but you got to run a lot larger size of it to handle the current draw. Then once you get inside the house, at least I know it is here in Stillwater, they say, nope, you're not going to put anything in that home but copper, because they do not want to run into that issue where it's going to run hotter running that same 15 to 20 amps over a 12 gauge piece of aluminum versus a 12 gauge piece of copper.
And then burn your house down.
And burn your house. In the 70s and 80s, it actually happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Those kind of things happen. So, you know, those are kind of cool things to talk about. But with you being here, I know accessories are kind of your thing. Is there anything that's a hot button for you?
Well, first I will say that I do like the Kicker kits. I actually done a review of the 1-aught kit, and yeah, it is a little more than some of the other ones, but it's nice. It's got Tech Flex on there. They're already crimped, you know, stuff like that. As far as accessories, I will say the CCA thing, some people don't know that that's a joke. And the one important lesson, take 12V Talk seriously, Kicker Unmasked seriously. Reverse Polarity, don't take that show seriously. If you know me and Dean at all, don't take that show seriously. And definitely not the show after it. Sidejag, which we need to get you on at some point.
You tell me when, and I'll watch the movie.
All right, we'll line that up. I also need a ticket to Knowledge Fest, so.
Okay. I think we can probably.
I'd throw that out there.
No, I think we could probably help take care. Matter of fact, the guy who helped take care of that would be in the back of the room right now. That'd be Mr. Jeremy Wynn. Jeremy Wynn, did you hear that request?
Yeah.
Do you think we can do that?
I'm sure we can.
Booyah, right. Touchdown. That's what I like.
In.
Get it done. We have here, this is, man, there's no way I can, Ryoke Ridge, 1986. Man, I hope I got that right. We have the CCA wire from that episode on our bay wall for clients to see. Cool. I'm glad you guys, we did those tests. And again, it's not about brand, guys. It's about, we truly want you to get the best performance out of whatever you're using. And we're so adamant about it. I mean, first off, if you buy a Kicker wire kit, we don't do CCA at all. Everything we do is 100% oxygen-free copper. The difference is if you get one of our value kits, it's just 100% oxygen-free copper. If you step up to the Highline kits, it's 100% oxygen-free copper that's then tin plated, which tin plating gives you that additional corrosion resistance that you have to have if you're going to use our wire in any type of a salt marine environment or if you even take that step back under the hood of your car. If you want to keep that wire from corroding away and turning green and doing things, the tin plating is what allows you to do that. So we just know, our warranty department has seen it time and time again, if you run the right gauge and the right wire, your problems with your amplifiers and other electronics are much, much less. And we're just trying to help you guys out so you can understand that and get the best performance out of whatever gear you're putting your money into.
And I think some people get tinned OFC wire confused with CCA. I've seen it a lot. You can tell by the weight. You hold a roll of 1/0 CCA versus a roll of 1/0 copper, and it's instantly immediate. You can feel the difference. And if you pick up wire and it feels lighter than it's supposed to be, it's probably CCA.
Here, I'm going to just, since you brought this up, this is obviously Andy McGill. Anyone who doesn't know Andy, he is a Kicker fan, but he's also a true car audiophile. He's about helping people make sure they get the best performance out of anything they're using. His comment here, Kicker's wire is one of the most flexible out of the bunch Rob tested. Take the guessing game out and run Kicker wire. Thanks for that shout out, Andy. The thing is, we do have very flexible wire. It is 100% OFC copper. It is tin plated. It's good stuff. The one thing you do get if you're buying a Kicker amplifier and if you use a Kicker wire kit at the same time, and if they're on the same receipt, we're so confident that running the right wire and the right gauge wire is an improvement that we extend our amplifier warranties out to 3 years if you have a Kicker amplifier with a Kicker wire kit. It's because we've seen the data on the backside is that more of that stuff comes back if it's on improper gauge wire or CCA wire.
Right. Hey, I really like the marine kits because you get an equal length run. So in these new vehicles, you're not going to find a good ground. Just run it power and ground same time. That's a Dean tip right there.
Speaking of a Dean tip, I'm gonna have to use my get out of jail free card for this one.
Uh-oh. Let's hear it.
Just want to give a shout out to the regular gang tonight. I'm on my cell, so it isn't easy chatting tonight. No worries, Marshall. I went to click and I got your comment instead, but that's okay. You're our winner tonight, or last week. We're getting you in. So I'm just trying to get this here. I got to get this because here it is. 5-star car stereo.
Of course.
It's your boy Dean.
It's my boy Dean.
What's he got? The wire swings both ways.
Yeah. Well, he's Dean. He's going to do Dean things, and I love him for it still.
I had to bring that one up. So amplifier dynos, I know you've been doing, I think, more amplifier dynos?
I've actually been doing less.
Okay.
But I try to do the odd, obscure stuff or something I already have on hand. Because I actually see myself more as a DIY how-to type of guy versus an amp dyno guy. But, people love the amp dyno. So if I got something weird I can test, might as well do it.
Sure. Got another one here. This is a good one. Brad Manning asks, what if someone purchases Stinger OFC wire with their Kicker amp? Well, if you purchase Stinger OFC wire and you purchase the right gauge wire you need, you're going to get all the performance that your amplifier is designed for. Now, you won't get the extended warranty. If you buy the Kicker wire kit at the same time you buy your Kicker amp and it's on the receipt together from your wherever you shop or retail, whether it's online or in a brick and mortar store, if those two purchases are on the same receipt, that amplifier will carry a full 3-year warranty instead of the typical 1 year. But yeah, it does have to be a Kicker wire kit to get the extended warranty. If you buy another brand, which is fine, if you're using full copper or full OFC copper or full tin plated copper and you're using the right gauge, you're just going to get the guaranteed performance. It's not like if you use Stinger OFC copper wire of X gauge versus Kicker, one performs better than the other. OFC copper is OFC copper. And you know, one of the things that's really good about that is I've seen the testing you do where you take a predetermined section, actually remove all the insulation and show how much material is there.
Right. And to me, that's the easiest way to do it without, the best way to do it is if I had a 20-foot length of every brand of wire, which would cost $1 bajillion, and just run power through it and seeing what the loss was. Barring that, I don't have the money to do that, so I just get 1-foot lengths that people send in leftover or that I buy, and that's, I can kind of equate the copper weight to the performance, even though it's not a perfect comparison.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to bring up questions here because it's an Ask Me Anything, so I'm just trying to find.
I do have a comment.
Sure.
If you guys haven't seen the studio, this is the setup right here. You wouldn't believe the kind of stuff Ernie and Bill and Jeremy are working with back there. It is crazy. I don't know how they pop your comments up. I don't know how they get it all right, but it's pretty insane.
You know, hey, Ernie, speaking of that, can you go to the camera backstage and kind of give them a shot of that? Maybe you could even. So this is what HiFi is talking about, and of course he got a behind-the-scenes walkthrough earlier, and we kind of gave him the rundown on the different gear and things that are back there, and there's there's Bill Frog. You know, it's pretty cool. The gear it takes to go back there, and what's funny is to even listen to Ernie or Jeremy or myself or any of us talk about it is when we got into doing this, it's not like any of us were or are professionals at this whatsoever, but we're learning a lot as we go along, and the equipment that we use and the gear, there's more potential there than even we know what to use.
Exactly.
But I think with you bringing up that comment, I think the one thing I'd like people to realize about that is we're seriously committed to doing this show and doing it to the best of our ability, whether it's the demos that we do, whether it's the equipment that we're capturing with. We want to try to get the best experience we can out to you folks who are tuned in and watching. And I know you knew that before you came here, but seeing that back there, it's like this is.
I spent a good 2-3 hours just talking to Ernie about the setup back here and kind of checking out what they got. I am, we're all tech nerds. So when I see these nice cameras, the lenses, I want to know what the box is doing. I want to know it all, the software.
Real quick, I'm looking at the clock. It looks like it's about 12 minutes after 8. So just give everyone a heads up. You got until 8:30 to enter tonight's contest if you have not entered. If you're just now tuning in, if you're new to this gig, we do a contest every night. We started at 7:15 Central Time. We kick it or end it at 8:30 Central Time. Then we draw 3 winners. So if you're new to the feed, go to kicker.fun/ and tonight's link is MSE Vega. If this is old hat to you and you're here every Tuesday night, you know what to do. Go enter that contest before 8:30 so you can be included in that drawing. And if you're from Canada, you're included as well. Russell, man, that's a Russell Red Black Wolf Proctor. Did I get that right? That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a name.
Do y'all? He's got to be from the South.
Got to be.
Got to be from the South.
I'm a y'all guy.
Me too. Y'all. Y'all is a actual word.
Yes.
Do y'all have one AWG battery terminal for the top post battery? We have. Man, I wish we could have got some of that stuff out here tonight. That'd have been. Sorry, missed it. We make a battery post or a top adapter that will accept 1/0 wire into it. Yes, if I remember right, it's 2 1/0s and 2 4-gauge. I think. Yes.
2 aughts or 2 4s.
2 aughts or 2 4s.
And then either a single 4 or a single 8.
Or a single 4 and a single 8. So it'll do 2 1/0s, 2 4-gauge, or you could do a 1/0 and a 4-gauge. You could do a combination, and then it's got a slot for an additional 4-gauge or a single 8-gauge. And those are solid milled brass terminals. They're plated, nice looking terminals.
You could bring it up on your laptop.
Oh, I could. I could.
Yeah.
Look at him telling me how to do my job.
You know a guy that works at Kicker, I think.
Yeah, he does. So I'll bring it up here. I'll bring it up on my laptop real quick. So I'm going to pull that up while we're talking here. But yes, we do make an adapter for that. Let me go in here into accessories. And then as soon as I find it, Ernie can make us all look good.
Brass hardware.
Boom.
There you go.
Boom.
Battery terminal.
Boom. Boom. Hey, Ernie, bring this up real quick if you haven't already. Is it up? So this is what you're asking for there. This is, we call it the BT4. It's a positive or a negative terminal. And as you can see, it comes with a red cap on top, and it comes included with a black nut cap as well. So if you're using it for a negative terminal, you can put the black cap on, or the black nut cap on. If you're using it for positive, use the red nut cap. You can see it's got the inner ring, it's got the clamp here, so you can clamp it down to your top post battery. And then like Tim was saying, which Tim works with this stuff every day, so I'm glad he knew right off the top of his head. But you've got here, this will hold a 1/0 or a 4 gauge. This will hold a 1/0 or a 4 gauge, and this one here in the middle will hold a 4 gauge or an 8 gauge. So that is the BT4 positive negative battery terminal. We don't carry as many separate pieces in our accessory line as a lot of other brands do. We really focus on what does it take from KICKER to hook up a KICKER amplifier, and we really like to keep the number of ring terminals or things to a minimum as much as possible. And so on this here, you see the wire goes in just like it goes into an amplifier. You crimp down on it with the lug. I can tell you, I know Timmy will tell you now, we are both converts. Man, ferrules.
Yeah.
Ferrules.
I finally, after watching Dean so long, I was like, you know what? I got to try the ferrules out, and they're wonderful. Because you can take the wire in and out if you need to and put it back in, and it's fine.
Absolutely. So I am a ferrule convert. I know everyone here is, and I'd recommend any wire you're doing, I would recommend you get ferrules. You can buy them in any shop that's worth their grain of salt. They're going to have them to sell to you. You can buy them online. Not that it matters, but Amazon.com sells them. You can pick them up on Amazon.
I do have a question for you.
Sure.
So I've never discussed this for you. Where do you land on crimping terminals? So we have just a regular hydraulic crimp.
Okay.
Some people solder them only. Some people crimp and solder them.
Okay, you really want my answer?
I want your answer.
All right, it's funny you just said that, because that ties right into what E-Dud just asked. Was he put it will turn to powder on the ends if not sealed good, and I know exactly what E-Dud was getting at there. Here's my stance on any terminal crimp. First off, when you crimp something properly, whether you're using a hydraulic press or a hand crimper, whatever you guys, and I prefer all things being equal, I'd use a hydraulic press so it's equal pressure.
I agree.
That becomes a cold weld. If it's done properly, it is a cold weld. So that wire and that end kind of fuse together in a cold weld. So electrically, that's a great conductivity point. Now, the thing you've got to deal with is, no matter what you do at that point, there's still going to be micro areas that it's not connected.
Yeah.
And what can get into those areas? Moisture and oxygen. So for me, whenever I'm doing a terminal, I crimp, and then I go back and I use solder, and I fill the entire thing up with solder and come back so that, and you don't want to wick that solder too far back up the wire. You want to keep it there at the end, because if you wick out too far with the solder, you've now created a point where the wire can move here and it can't move here, and you've created a stress point where over time, just like a soda can or something wiggling it back and forth, you can break it. That is entirely possible. So you want to keep the solder right there at the end. You want to seal that up and then throw some heat shrink over that, preferably some with some adhesive in it or some glue. Because what you're doing is a good crimp. That's your mechanical, electrical connection, but the soldering aspect of it, it fills in those voids, so you do get better conductivity, a little better, but more importantly, you're keeping moisture and oxygen from getting down into the copper. And with tin-plated wire, the most important thing is you're keeping all that from getting down to the very tips, because the tin plating prevents most of that, but the exposed tips are still suspect to that. So for me, if I'm doing it, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do all three. I'm going to do a nice bond mechanically with a crimper. I'm going to solder that thing up, and then I'm going to put heat shrink over it. That's me.
Okay, you never let me down, because I'm a cold weld guy. Now, I know a lot of people love just soldering the closed loop lugs, and I don't like that. Now, if you're talking about the old school lugs with the where you should just hammer them, you know what I'm talking about?
I sure do, yeah.
Soldering those, okay. But the closed lugs, I like a cold weld because it's just a mechanical, it's one piece. And I think that adding, like you said, if you put the solder in too far, one, it makes it inflexible.
Correct.
Secondly, you're adding something in there to potentially oxidize.
And folks, he didn't ask me this question before the show.
No.
This is a cold question.
It's a cold one.
And I'm just giving you my opinion on it. And my opinion is based upon years and years of mistakes. So it's, as we joke about it, I've been in the car audio industry since probably about 1980. as an official job since about 1985, 1986. So I've been in the car industry. I've had a few other jobs along the way, but I always ended up back in car audio because there's something about car audio. Once it's in your blood, it's like
can't
a disease.
let it go.
No,
Yeah.
it's like a safe form of an addictive drug.
All right, and then you're 40 and 50, and when you tell people that you're in a car audio, they instantly think of the worst type of car audio people. And then you have to walk it back a little bit, like, oh, actually, I kind of like sound quality, and you know how it goes. Every car audio guy knows.
Everybody knows that. So here's a good, and thank you, JW, for monitoring these. We're trying to get these up. So Thumper asks, butt connectors with waterproof heat shrink like I use in water wells are the best, period. My connections last 20 plus years underwater and strong enough to pull up pump and pipe from 300 feet. Thumper, you know what's really interesting about that? This harness that we put together tonight real quick so that we could come up here and do the dyno test on this, ironically, that's the exact same thing we've got on here. These are the solderable crimp butt connectors, and that's what I did on here for this test tonight. I crimped these on here real quick. I shrunk the heat shrink down, and Tim can testify because he was back to help me do this, and after I'm done, I grab both ends, and man, I tug on. When I tug on them, I don't just play tug on them. I give them a good jerk because I want to make sure it's in there. And yes, that is a very good connection as well. Those with the heat shrink already on them, you really can't solder, although I'll tell you in my past history, I've used the butt connectors that have no coating on them, so I can crimp, then I can feed some solder in there, and then I throw some heat shrink on afterwards. But if you want something that's a one and done solution that works well, I can't say those are bad. I'm using them right there, so it's kind of funny you bring those up, but yeah, I agree with those.
Well, I'm a fan of adhesive lined heat shrink. I really like adhesive lined heat shrink because the only problem is if you ever have to take it off, it's an issue. But I like it for, marine applications, under the hood, anything like that.
Absolutely. I got to bring this up because, man, we're missing you here tonight, man. We need to get you in the studio too soon. Wilson Audio Labs, that of course is Big D himself. When can we expect wireless connections? I'm done with the whole wiring thing.
I feel them on that. Dragging wire through, it's not fun. Just put it through the door jam, Derek. It'll be fine.
It's all good.
Nothing bad's going to happen.
Here's what I'll say about that. A lot of people ask that question. Of course, it's a running joke here at Kicker, and I stand behind this running joke because it is who I am. I look people in the eye all the time, and I say, what's the best thing, or what do I love about Bluetooth? And they'll look at me and I get that patented look, and I go, absolutely nothing. And Bluetooth is about convenience, folks. I mean, you talk about this whole wireless thing. Bluetooth is really a step where you can get in and out of your car, your phone's in your pocket, or it's in the console charging. You can take your phone calls, you don't have to plug it in, and there is a lot of convenience factor to Bluetooth. I can't knock that. I mean, I am even guilty of using Bluetooth in my own car just because I can take phone calls and do things quickly. But the reality is, and I think we'll dive into this a little bit further in another episode, is like with pink noise, that's why we suggest if you're setting up a car and you're serious about setting up the car, I mean, if you're serious about it, you don't want to use Bluetooth. Because one of the things that happens is Bluetooth really rolls off the top end. And you can see that on a pink noise test. If you transmit pink noise that's perfectly flat and go through a Bluetooth connection, about 16 to 18 kilohertz, it starts rolling off pretty hard. So Bluetooth it's not CD sound quality by any stretch of the imagination. I would call it maybe good FM sound quality.
Yeah.
When it's working right.
They have better Bluetooth. If you're an old school 12E Talk fan, you know that I'm a convenience trumps fidelity guy. So I'm a Bluetooth guy. I play Bluetooth all the time. But what you're saying is true.
Yes.
Like if you're getting pink noise, download it, put it on the USB. Simple as that. You don't got to worry about it. But if you're just playing your favorite tracks on Spotify or Amazon HD, Bluetooth's fine with me. I'm good with Bluetooth. I'm not a purist in that sense.
I know you're not a purist in that sense. I tend to run that way, although I do say, yes, do I use Bluetooth? There are occasions I use Bluetooth.
We used Bluetooth today. We did
on
use this Bluetooth to figure out a problem.
We did, because this guy was being an idiot. And so,
Turns out we all were.
Yeah, Yannick Polasek, hopefully I got that right, Yannick. Any through a component set in the making? Here's how I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to point with
this is close. You're getting close right here.
You're getting close right there. We do offer tweeters separately in the KS line. We got the I'm trying to remember the 25 millimeter and the 20 millimeter. We now offer the 2.75 inch mid range in the KS line.
Oh, I like that little mid-range. It's a cool looking one too. I like the gold lettering on it. Yeah.
It sounds as good a look. It's actually a great sounding driver. So you could start with any KICKER two-way component set. So you could get a 5 1/4 in tweet, you could get a 6 1/2 or 6 3/4 in tweet, or the 6x9 in tweet. And if you added that 2 3/4 inch mid-range to it, there is your three-way system. Now the thing you're not going to get by that is you're going to have to figure out your crossovers, but we debate this internally all the time. And if you are sold on a three-way system, like if you really say, I want to do a three-way system, that's a high-end system. And if you're going to go towards a higher-end system, it is highly likely that you're going to be using active electronic crossovers and an independent amplifier channel for each speaker. So simply, you could start with any Kicker two-way setup, whether it's the 6x9, the 6 1/2, the 6 3/4, the 5 1/4, and there's your two-way. And you want to go three-way, so now you're going to have 6 amplifier channels. You're going to have a DSP or a crossover or something to do your adjusting with if you're truly a three-way kind of guy. And so now if you buy that 2 3/4, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the cap or the high-pass crossover that comes with that 2 3/4, and you're going to take the two-way crossovers that come with your other sit, and you're going to take those and throw them in the trash can because you're not going to use them. Yeah. You're going to use all active and go with that. So you can create any three-way system right now from Kicker utilizing our current two-way kits in the KS line and adding that 2 3/4. Now something that's coming, it's not out yet, but it's coming. We showed it to you when we did the original Unmasked, as he pointed out, and that's the Snowman, the KSMT 2504, if I got the model number right. And that is the 2 1/2 inch mid-range and the 25 millimeter or 20 millimeter, no, it's 25 millimeter tweeter on that there. And that's in an adjustable pod that's tuned. It's got passive crossovers that come with it. You can add this to any system. You could have a stock system, just have the drivers in the door, add this up on top, and now you got a three-way system using whatever speaker is in conjunction with your door right now. You could use any aftermarket speaker with it. And it does come with a passive crossover to make that work. But again, if you're a true three-way, like you've got your heart set, I'm going to do a three-way system, you're that guy looking to get that last ounce of performance out of a system, and I really don't think that you would not do a 6 channels of amplification and a crossover DSP. I just don't think you would.
Well, this won't fit in my pocket. I've scoped it out, and it's only one. I need both.
You need both.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So that's a real good question. I don't want to stand here and tell you that we won't ever package up a three-way. I don't want to tell you that.
That's what they really want. They want you to put on the website, this is the three-way set, and then they'll buy it.
Exactly. Okay. But the way we're looking at it right now is we've got great two-way kits. You add the 2 3/4, you're now at a three-way setup. And if you're going into a three-way setup, let's be honest, you're going to make your own pod. You're doing something in the A-pillars. You're doing something up in the dash corner. I mean, you're fabricating something to hold all those speakers. And if you're going to that extent, man, you're going to use a 6-channel amplifier or a 4-channel or 2-channel. You're going to do something so that you've got 6 active channels and then a DSP or a crossover so that you can tune that how you want it. And then at that point, passive crossovers are moot. You're not going to use them anyway. Yeah. So hopefully that helps. I won't say that we won't ever package it up as a three-way, but that's where we stand on the topic today.
Yeah, plus you're extra cool if you don't use passive crossovers.
Way cool.
Extra cooler.
Extra cooler. Damon Sells. I have a question. Maybe you can do a different show if it doesn't apply to what we're talking about today. With the rise of EV cars, I've yet to see a high-power system in one. Will you guys ever do one show car, or have you seen one done? Damon, that is a fantastic question. I'm going to answer that question in a unique way. Mr. Steve Irby here actually has a Tesla.
Yeah.
He has the
Model Y.
Which is the small SUV crossover.
Right.
And Steve loves giving rides in his Tesla Y to the employees here or anyone who visits. And so I finally got my ride multiple times in Steve's Tesla Y, and it's a hoot. The one thing I'll say is, green vehicles, if we're going to talk about green, that's a different conversation because there ain't no green in an electric vehicle. But if you want to talk about performance,
they go.
Steve, I got in the car with Steve, and we're going to Tulsa, and we're pulling out the front parking lot here. Yeah. And if you're familiar with how our building is, if you take a right out of our front parking lot, there's a short runway, a straight, then it goes into kind of an S curve, and then it goes straight again, and then you head out to the turnpike. And as we're creeping up there, Steve looks at me, and he says, do you want to feel speed or handling? He might have said performance, but it was speed and I think handling is what he said. And of course, me being me, I just looked at him and said, well, of course, both. I don't want one or the other.
I don't want to feel the handling. The handling could be sketchy. I'll feel the speed.
So he takes a right out of the Kicker parking lot, and he hit that gas pedal. And before we get to the S curve, I swear we had to be doing every bit of 65, 75 mile an hour.
Yeah.
And it hugs that S corner like there's nobody's business, and he came out of it. As a matter of fact, when he took off, it caught me by surprise so much, my glasses were actually rolling off of my head. I had to do this to keep my glasses from falling off my head and get them back on my head, and I'm giggling like a schoolgirl because it was a hoot. So EV cars are a blast to drive. They have instant torque. There's no delays. I mean, it's torque right now.
Yeah,
all of it,
go.
and you can go and go. We, of course, have discussions about that, and as EV cars become more prevalent in the marketplace, we're going to have those conversations internally, or maybe we've already had them, talking about product. The thing that we have to deal with is it's a totally different ball game, and you look at the battery packs, like the straight battery packs in these cars, they shield you from the high voltage, the 360, 420, 480. I mean, there's some high DC voltage in there. The cool part is with that much voltage, you could make some pretty small, efficient, big power amplifiers if you got 480 volts on tap.
Oh, is that a wink moment?
It could be a wink moment. Timmy behind camera just let me know the contest for tonight is now over. So that is locked out for tonight. We will draw the winners and announce them before 9 o'clock. So if you entered the contest, you were in the drawing. If you're coming in late to the show or you missed the 8:30 cutoff, tune in next week. We'll have another contest next week. Hope to see you then on that contest. So we are having the discussion on EVs. It comes down to there is some 12 volt available, but it's limited current compared to everything that's in the EV car. You have all this voltage, which I'm not trying to sell by fear, but that 480 volts, you do something wrong there, that could kill you. No problem at all. So we're kind of in the limbo land right now. Could we design an amplifier to work on various voltages or have a universal supply voltage that works on a much higher range? Absolutely. That's not a problem at all. We got engineers that can do that all day long. We just need to see where the demand's going to go and what people need to have out of them. Or if you're like me and you listen to Steve Irby's Tesla Y, Steve and I both looked at each other and said, this doesn't sound that bad. And then we both looked at each other and said, I wish it was about 12 to 16 dB louder. Right. Because it wasn't loud enough.
They got to EQ it enough to sound good, but not loud.
Yeah, it just wasn't loud enough. So yeah, we are looking at those realities as far as EV cars, and you never know. We'll probably look at doing an EV car at some point. If we do one, it would be because we're going to be showing product design for EVs. So it's on our radar. It's definitely there. I know there was a comment that was popped up there, but I didn't get to see it. I'm sure Jeremy took it down. If he wants to throw it back up, he can. Real quick here, there you go. Need stronger electrical grid first. Stefan Duro. Stefan, that's a conversation that we get into all the time here at KICKER. Just personal conversations. We talk about this. Is if everyone in the U.S. went to electric cars overnight with the current electrical grid that we have here, we'd kill it. There's no way that everyone in the U.S. could charge an EV car overnight with our current electrical grid, and you are 100% correct on that. So it's going to be an evolution thing. I mean, they keep saying that they're going to get rid of the combustible gas diesel engine and move everything to electric. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be good, but it's one hand and the other. You can't do one thing.
Exactly.
It's a whole. At what point do we bring in the old school?
What do you want to talk about old school?
Right over there.
Here?
The blue. No, see? Right over there on that
those?
table. Those old school.
Oh.
People might not know.
Do you want me to bring them in, or do you want to bring them in?
Yeah, you bring them in.
Okay, I'll bring them in.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought these with you today.
Yeah. I wonder how many people remember these.
Here, I'm going to sneak them behind you.
Should I move them?
No, you're good.
All right.
You're good. Let's take Thomas's amp.
And just throw it on the floor. Sorry, Thomas.
Just throw it on the floor, kick it around a little bit. Let's do this.
Let's see, we'll get the...
So I don't want to tell the whole story, but you reached out to me a couple months back now, I think.
Yeah.
And said, first off, if you don't know, we are currently in the process of actually building, I don't want to call it an addition to the company. It's not. It's just we've taken another area of the company that used to be our mail room, and we've pulled that out and moved it to another location. And we're taking that whole area, and we're building a dedicated KICKER car audio museum that's going to have all the old cool stuff from when the company started. And when you found out about it, you said, hey, I've got some things that I want to donate to the new museum.
Yeah,
and so you take it from there.
So I have a very good buddy, Chris McMurtry. We grew up together in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and he worked for a KICKER dealer, Laws. And he was always a big collector of KICKER gear, and he had 3 of these. And he wanted to sell them, and I was like, you know what? I got to get these. I don't know, I'll never use them because they're brand new in box. But once you said something about the museum, I was like, okay, 2 of these go in there, 1 staying with me for showpiece.
Absolutely, you got to keep 1. So obviously we couldn't get Steve on the show tonight. So when Robert rolled in this morning, we actually got to go and have some sit-down time with Steve in his office.
Oh yeah.
And he was able to present Steve Irby with these and let him know that you're donating these to go to the museum.
These are going to the museum.
So Steve was floored. It took him by surprise. You know, we got Ben H over here. Ben, my first system was two 12-inch Mohawks. To tell you how far back these go, I sold Mohawks at retail.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
I did, and that's another story for another day.
we got to talk. It was great. We probably were in Steve's office way too long talking about old stuff, but it was great. I had fun. What CEO from any company will sit down with a dumb YouTube guy and talk old school car stereo and stuff from the past for an hour or two?
You got to understand, and I mean this sincerely, and Steve would say it if he was here. Steve enjoys talking about all that stuff. So to him, that's just a break from the side of, the spreadsheets and the running the company and making sure you get 200 plus employees doing their jobs and designing product. But when he can stop and talk about stuff like this and reminisce about not just kicker past, but just the past, I think you got a whiff of it. He likes talking about it.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'll eat it up. Anytime he's willing to talk to me about it, I'll do it.
And what's interesting about these is there's no kicker on here. These are Stillwater Designs and Audio. Right. Nowhere does it say kicker on here. And this was Kicker's first foray into basically an entry-level, low-cost subwoofer. They were small coil, which at the time these were released, the market was starting to get into bigger power amplifiers. There was a time when 100 watts was a ton of power.
Right.
That's not today. But there was a time when 100 watts was really big power. So, 75 to 100 watts, these, I can testify, I sold them retail, 75 to 100 watts, these things were awesome. But they were out for about 3-4 years. The market was changing into wanting, higher power subwoofers, which require bigger coils, bigger magnets, things like that. And so the line was around for about 4 years. And what's interesting is our distributor in Malaysia, TC and David's his son, TC's his father. We actually licensed this name to them, and the Mohawk name and logo still live today. It's a speaker product that's only available outside the United States of America.
And he has a Mohawk. We found that out.
He has a Mohawk.
So.
He actually has a Mohawk, which is kind of cool. Deviant, let's set the woofers. I think
he wants to see them.
David Monroe, I think you meant let's see the woofers. It's okay. I type the same way. Thank you to my phone for autocorrecting everything to what I don't really mean. So let's take a look and see this, because Thomas Marshall, he must know you because I got through this. A box of banana Laffy Taffy.
Oh no. That'll go straight in the trash.
Which is laggy taffy. So again,
yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, cell phones. We appreciate you. Thanks for correcting everything to what we don't mean. That's awesome, but these are literally, they've never been mounted. They are brand new out of the box. Even the tape is still
on there.
The tape is still on here fully.
The foam hasn't let go. It's still intact for now. The logo looks good. That was the coolest thing about these. The logo, as it was moving, looked so cool. And that's what made me want these speakers when they were out. I wasn't even driving when these speakers were out.
No, wow.
Because what's this, like 93?
Yeah, this would have been sometime between 90. I'm gonna guess this was 91 to 95, or 90 to 94.
Yeah, so see, just before I was driving, I didn't start driving till 97.
Wow. So yeah, these woofers were out before you were driving.
Yeah, I was buying car audio. I just couldn't drive. And look at the motor on this thing. Come on. How can you beat that?
That's insane. Look at that. That's just, but that thing is brand new.
Yeah.
So here's the cool deal, folks. These are going into the new museum extension, along with a lot of other great old school kicker product. And so, where's the magnet?
Where's the beef?
It's exactly, that's what I was saying. It's like, where's the beef? These were, if I remember my specs right, I think these were 1 inch. These were either 1 inch or maybe a little slightly under 1 inch voice coils. And the thing with magnet size, I'm not saying that big magnets are bad, and it's not on camera. I'm actually pointing over here to the Cutaway, the L7X. But the thing that people don't realize when it comes to design a speaker is there is a right-sized magnet to get what you want as far as performance out of that driver. And once you design up the suspension and the weight and the spider and the resonance and everything's there, you need so much magnet to make that work. And if you go more magnet than what the design calls for, and a lot of people don't realize this, you can actually start losing low bass. You actually over-damp the driver too much with too much magnetic energy, and you can actually start taking away low frequency response. So there's a right-sized magnet for every speaker design, but it's a small magnet. I mean,
it's a system. It all works together. Every piece in here has to do something.
It looks like a speaker you might find out of, even in today, out of a home cabinet.
Right.
Because a lot of speakers in home cabinets, they don't have very big magnets in those.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. These speakers, these subwoofers sound very good. Very nice sounding subwoofers.
They are very, very, I agree to that. They are Kicker. I'm just looking for comments here like we're going.
Jesse says it's a Neo Mag. It
That's what I just saw. Looks like a Neo Mag and it's so small. Oh, thanks for that, Jesse. That's funny. That's a good one. It's a Kicker. Let's see. Kicker was about 10 years old then. Firebird Dude 2. Stillwater Designs and Audio was founded in 1973, and when the company started, it didn't have anything to do with car audio. It was a pro sound, and you got that a little bit of that from Steve today. It was all about pro sound monitors, PA cabinets, things like that. Steve didn't get into car audio until it would have been early 80s. Late 70s, early 80s, and you know, we've told the story in here before, but you know, quick synopsis: it's the original Kicker box, and Steve had a friend of him at another store that guys were wanting something they could put behind the seat of a truck, get more sound out of the truck, hook it up. Back then, it would have been hooked up to your power boosters, you know, your one button push under the dash, because that's what was then. And that's what started Steve down the path of making car audio. So as a company, Stillwater Designs and Audio has been around since 1973. As a car audio company, late 70s, early 80s, and Steve had the right product at the right time, and it just took off like a rocket ship.
Yeah, he said, you want something for the truck? I'm going to put you some subs in here, some little subs, and this piezo's on top, and call it good. A passive as well.
Absolutely. You know, K-Swiss, he says here, efficiency is key. You know, K-Swiss, this is definitely an efficient driver. If I remember, 92. Yeah. Yep. So it's 92 dB, 1 watt, 1 meter. Hey, Mark's here. Awesome. Mark, we'll get to you in just a second. Hang on, brother. I see his thumbs up there. I see him back in the green room. He's got his thumbs up. Do it bump dough. You know what? I got to tell you, I actually sold these at retail, and yes, you put 75 to 100 watts on these drivers, and they bumped all day long. They sounded fantastic. They played low bass. Yes, they played 40 hertz and lower.
And lower.
And lower. They did it all. It's just they were very efficient subwoofers. They didn't take a lot of power to get the job done. But you also, if you're looking back in that time frame, I mean, I'm sincere about this, 100 watts was huge power.
Right.
I mean, that was a big power amp back then. Is it a single 8 ohm or 4 ohm? Good question. I think
single
it's a 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these, and if I remember right, I think these were offered in 4 and 8. So that is a valid question.
Yeah.
These are single 4s.
Well, see, there was a long time that you guys wouldn't give in and give us dual voice coil subwoofers. That was a complaint of mine back in the day. I will say that. I did have to trade in some single 4 ohm woofers for some single 2 ohm woofers to make my Orion amp work right.
Jackie Chan Fu, we want Solo X.
Yeah,
Jackie, I kind of alluded to that in the beginning of the show. You know, with HiFi Vega here, we'll kind of cover that a little bit. We want L7X out just as well. And you know, like as we've said multiple times, Solo X is the family. L7X is the first product from that family that's coming out. There's going to be a 10, a 12, and a 15. You know, we have the cutaway of the 12 that we keep here on the studio most Tuesday nights so that you can see that. Maybe Timmy will slowly pan over there and you can get a quick view of this. Here, I'll move my patented drink cup that's got water in it. And so, you know, we want this driver to be out as quickly as possible as well. It's not an excuse, it's just a fact. The last 12 to 16 months have put the kibosh on manufacturing, put the kibosh on logistics. And it's not just car audio. I mean, I'm in the process of building a house right now, and I can't tell you the nightmares that I have. PVC pipe, electrical fittings. I mean, I've had to run to Oklahoma City and visit 3 different stores to buy 12 things.
I've seen it all. This guy has wire going through his walls. It's about like this.
I mean, literally, it might be cool to do a walkthrough that one night if people have any interest. But my wife and I, we're doing all the low voltage wiring in the house for security and whole house audio and all that. And I think at this point, her and I calculate we've pulled about 4.8 miles of wire.
It's a lot of copper.
It's a lot of copper, and it's all copper. There ain't no CCA in there. There's none of that in there. But we want to get this product to market as fast as we can because we are as excited to get it to market as you are to get it. So understand we're moving as quickly as we can. We targeted this product for this year. I mean, our goal was to have this product released this year. The pandemic last year and the shutdown of the global chain and everything has just created a nightmare, not just for us, but everything. And I'm sincere when I say that. There are so many things that are, like Ernie's, like I go in, I can't find any socks. They don't even have socks. Well, it's because they're sitting on a container ship out in the middle of the ocean, or they're on a container that they can't get to because it's buried underneath all these other containers waiting to get.
Well, it turns out Ernie likes some expensive socks.
He likes some expensive socks.
Yeah, he does.
Well,
he's a man of taste.
He talked me into buying those socks, and I will. I have them on right now, and I'm going to tell you, they are some comfy socks.
Yeah, he's a man of taste.
They are good socks. But it's just, we are doing our level-headed best, but the reality is the current global situation, and I do mean global, has slowed down the development of everything. Not just products that are current, but trying to create new products. We are into this. We've shown videos of these things working. We've approved the 12. We listened to a sample of the 10. I think with the changes we made to that, I think we're going to give that one a go. The first 15 we actually had in 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. So we are in full development. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to be able to ship this driver this year. Realistically, it's probably going to be first quarter coming up, so we're talking 2022. And no one can be more disappointed about it than we are. Now understand, I'm telling you first quarter 2022. We are making every move possible to keep everything on a fast pace. If we can get this to market before then, we're not going to wait. We're going to bring it to market as soon as it is ready. But it's just the reality of the entire global logistics production chain. It ground to a halt, and getting that thing running again.
Yeah, I mean, they're not hiding them here. I looked everywhere. Trust me, if they had them here, I would have one. I think I could carry one out, maybe.
Hey, it's now Q3. When are we getting new KX amps? JD SK8R. So I'm going to say JD Skater. Hopefully I said that right. It's now Q3. When we get new KX amps? Well, KX amps fall underneath the same problem as there have been issues this whole last year. There's a lot of things that, unless you are in the logistics and production chain, things that happen that you're just not aware of. Just to throw you some examples out there, like a company that makes the Part A and Part B foam for spray foams in houses. When Texas went through that big freeze and they lost, all the pipes burst and everything happened. Yeah. There was a company, or a factory down there that makes that Part A and Part B foam for spray foam. The company caught on fire. They no longer had fire suppression because all the pipes had burst, so the company burned to the ground. Wow. So overnight, the cost of spray foam went up 30%. Overnight, because one of the companies.
Sorry, basehead guys.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's two-part foam. It went up 30% overnight because of that. There are instances of that all across everything, not just car audio, but the one thing that's affected everyone is the new KX amps, the replacement. They also use microprocessors and DSP chips. And if you've watched any of the stuff that's on mainline news, you can see where even it's got as far as Congress, where they're lobbying, trying to find funds to actually start having some chip manufacturers do stuff here in the States, because we've got companies who make cars that can't finish cars because they can't get microprocessors and DSPs to finish computers just to get cars out of these.
That's something we're going to try to get done in our first term in 2024. I think I'm going to be over the import-export situation. So
I agree 100%. You need to be over that.
And then obviously, Derek's probably going to be the VP.
I think that's a good choice.
Where could we put Dean? I don't know.
Secretary of State?
Are you ready to go to war?
Housing and urban development.
There you go.
I think we'll put Dean in charge of that.
He's a people person.
He's a people person. He'll fit right into that. So, the whole thing on KX amps, the new KX amps, hold that question on the screen. Don't get rid of that one yet, JW. KX amps, there is a replacement coming. The reality is there was a company that makes DSP and microprocessors for everybody. When I say everybody, the chips they make them for people doing stuff in cars. They make it for people doing home audio. They make it for people doing portable electronics. We buy them to put them in our amplifiers. And during this whole last 12 to 18 months, along with everything else happened, they burned to the ground.
Wow.
No kidding, this company caught on fire and burned to the ground. And so now they have fast-tracked, they have other fab houses, but these other fab houses they have aren't designed to build these chips.
Yeah.
So they're doing what they can. They fast-tracked actually rebuilding or building a new facility. They said they'd have it done in 12 to 16 months. We'll see. But it's not just us that can't get microprocessors and DSPs, it's the world.
And you guys aren't in front of the line, obviously, for making car amps. I'm sure that's probably somewhere in the middle to bottom.
Let me tell you how seriously we take this, though, and this is genuine. I can't talk the number, but I will say this. Stillwater Designs and Audio as a company, or Kicker, we have actually laid out the cash to buy parts for the next 2 years. It's gone. We took the money out of the checking account and paid it, so we've got in line so that we can get parts. And so we've paid for parts that we won't even see for 2 years, but we want to try to avoid this situation as much as possible, so we are trying to stock up as we can, but we can't buy things that don't exist.
Exactly.
And there's other great stories I could tell you about that, like about key amplifiers, what we had to do there to make sure we had key amplifiers. We scramble to make sure that we've got product during these unprecedented, weird times. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird is what
It
I'll
is
say.
weird.
Reoak Ridge, 1986. Hopefully I got that right, man. I apologize if I didn't. Will y'all be releasing a new amp to power the L7X? Well, here's what I got to say to that. You know, if you come out with this really big, powerful subwoofer, you probably need an amplifier to go along. Probably.
Most
I mean, it would
likely.
make sense.
Most likely.
So,
I mean, why would you want to run a non-kicker amp on a kicker sub?
I don't think you would. So I think there'd probably be an amplifier to go along with that. I'm just saying, probably. Yeah. There probably would be an amplifier to go along. If I was if I was in charge of making that decision, I think I'd want an amp to go along with it.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but
that you're aware of.
That I'm aware of. Yeah, that I'm aware of.
So, good question. Yeah, I would keep an eye out for that. We can't talk about that right now, but I would think we would make an amplifier for that. We'll see.
Nice.
I keep saying Solo X family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have enough power to run any of that, so.
So I can already feel that we're going to run a little late tonight, and hopefully you guys are okay with that. What I do want to do is Chase McComb, will there be an 8-inch in the Solo X family? Chase, that is a great question, and one of the first things that happened out of the gate is I've told people that, you know, this Unmasked live show that we do, it's a two-way communication thing, really, and we mean that seriously. We want to tell you what's going on, we want to educate and share, and we want to get information from you. And when we announced we were doing the L7X and it was going to be a 10, 12, and a 15, I cannot tell you how many people said, are you going to do an 18? Are you going to do an 8? Are you going to do a 6.5? And so this is how I'll answer that question. We listen to what people want, and we react appropriately. So all I can say is L7X out of the gate, 10, 12, 15. Will there be other sizes? Stay tuned.
Oh man, I'm all about the 8-inch.
I know you are.
You know, Andy and everybody else in the world wants the 18-inch. But if I could kill that 18-inch and get a 6.5-inch,
you would.
I would do it right now. Sorry, I love you, Andy, but I need that 6.5 or an 8. An 8 is acceptable.
I think he actually tried to bribe Steve in the office today. I think that was a bribe.
I didn't bring enough cash. Oh.
So, with that said, hopefully, we'll see. Make sure that we still have audio on these. Let's see if we do. Audio. Midwest. Audio. Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Kicker Live if we didn't have some difficulty. Whoa. It got real in there.
That was gangsta. Yeah, that was straight up gangsta in my headset.
Yeah.
So, we do have, and we want to bring in and we want to announce this before we get to the 9 o'clock. And if we run a little bit over 9 once we announce the winners, then that's okay. I don't think you'll have a problem.
No, I'll go to midnight.
I know you will. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to announce the winner for tonight. And then we're also going to bring in Mark, and we're going to announce the winner of the MSE Mobile Soundstage Engineering giveaway. Mark was gracious enough to work with us. We've thrown into the kitty as well, and that's going to be a fantastic package. We'll get to that in just a second. But first off, let's do tonight's winners from the nightly contest, and then we'll roll right into Mark. And that way we're not keeping Mark too long, and then if we run a little bit over, we'll just run over.
Yeah.
So with that said, Bill, Kip, put the Mohawk in front of the Solo.
Oh, gosh,
okay, sure. I just saw that. So here we go. If that's what so here's the Mohawk 12. And there's the L7X 12. So here you go here. And here you go here. So it's it looks like
the hat trick is if you make that one, if that one sounds as good as that one,
Oh,
I'll hug you live.
I'm gonna tell you what. I know you're spending the night tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, we can get you back in the morning for a little bit, and we can actually get you in the room to hear this.
Oh, you can.
We
definitely.
have those.
I've never even heard a quad box in person.
Done.
So.
I think we'll have to continue this in the morning. It's going to get crazy. So there's those two side by side. So with that said, let's get our nightly winners tonight out of the gate. I'm sure. Let me pull one of these so I can. Hey, Bill, you got our winners? I love how he answers that. So I'm actually pulling up here, so I just want to make sure. The thing is, you guys, you called me out on it a long time ago because I didn't think you knew what the prizes were, and I thought it was all a surprise. But, obviously, it's right there in the drawing. So tonight's third place winner and second place winner, you're both going to get a set of EB300 wireless earbuds. You're going to get a couple of Kicker koozies to keep your favorite beverage nice and cool while you're watching this show or anything else, and a limited edition Kicker Unmasked Live gray T-shirt that's over my shoulder. I forget which one. It's over here, but it looks like it's over here. It's reversed on the camera, guys. I'm always going to get it wrong. And then, so that is our third place and our second place. And then our grand prize winner tonight, you're going to get the pair of koozies. You're going to get a limited edition. And, hey, Jeremy, are we out of the black? Yeah. Black is gone. So what we're doing is we are going to give you the same gray unmasked shirt that the second and third place winners are going to get. You never know. We'll probably change up and add something in church or something in a future date. But for right now, we're out of black, so now everybody gets a gray T-shirt. But grand prize tonight, you get to choose any Comp Q subwoofer size and impedance you want.
Cassie, did you? Tonight, my wife, did you sign up?
Yeah. If she did, I don't want to know.
I know.
I don't want to.
I already told her no.
I don't want. I can't know
She
this.
asked me. She said, "Can I sign up?" And I said, "No, we can't sign up." I said, "What do you want?" And she's like, "Well, this and that." And I was like, "I can get what you want."
There you go. I know somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, if you were looking at Comp Q subwoofers and maybe you wanted a pair of 10s or a pair of 12s or a pair of 5, whatever you wanted to do. Basically, tonight's your chance. If you're the grand prize winner, you get one. Right. You just got to turn around and buy another one and go along with it. So any size, any impedance, that's what you get to win for your grand prize tonight. I think
15.
Get the 15 if that's what you
just
want.
Need one.
Or just do one.
Yeah.
Get a single 15, throw 750 to 1,000 watts on it, and you will be happy, very happy. So with that said, information I'll do here at the end. I'll also do it when we get to the first drawing. If you are a winner and you're watching the feed tonight, you can reach out to social@kicker.com. Some things we need from you if you're a winner. Number one, we need an actual shipping address, no P.O. box, please. We cannot ship to a P.O. box. We actually need your phone number, whether it's your cell number or home, however you want to give us your number. And sincerely, we will not use it for any marketing purposes. The only reason we need it is when we ship out, doesn't matter who we use, we have to put a phone number in there so that if they can't find you or they need to arrange to have the package left at the office and you come pick it up, they need to be able to contact you. So we do need your phone number for that. It is strictly confidential. We do not keep or share that phone number with anyone. It simply goes into the shipping information. Last but not least, we need you to confirm your shirt size. I know it's a drop-down box. You guys enter the contest, but if you accidentally clicked small and you meant to click XXX, you're probably not going to be happy getting a small and it's going to look like a medium. So let's get you the right shirt size. Just confirm that in your email. You can reach out to social@kicker.com. Bill will be reaching out to you as well tomorrow. So either way, it's a two-way communication street. If you're just excited and want us to know, you can hit us tonight in an email or you will hear from Bill tomorrow. So with that said, Bill, who's winner number 3 on tonight's show featuring our guest, Mr. HiFi Vega? Winner number 3 is Melanie C. from Las Vegas. Melanie C., you are our third place winner tonight. Thank you for tuning into the show. You're going to get a pair of those koozies. You're going to get a set of those EB300 earbuds, and you're going to get one of those Kicker Unmasked shirts. Follow the instructions. If you are still tuned in, you can reach out to social@kicker.com. Or Bill will be reaching out to you tomorrow. Real quick thing, if you are a winner on the show, and this is not a real big problem, but it's happened a couple times, terms and conditions and everything on these contests, we need you to respond within 7 days. So if you're a winner and you don't respond before 7 days are up, we will keep reaching out to you. But if we don't hear from you, then we're going to forfeit that prize and we'll draw another winner. So keep that in mind. If you're a winner, please respond back. So Melanie C., congratulations. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Bill, who's lucky winner number 2? Ken A. from Marshall, Texas. Ken, you are lucky winner number 2. Same prize package as the third place contestant. You're going to get the earbuds, the shirt, and the koozies. Get that information to social@kicker.com or wait for Bill to reach out to you tomorrow.
And I hope that's Ken Alexander. I know someone, Ken A. from Marshall. I don't know if he's from Marshall, but he's from Texas.
So it could be.
It could be. He's a good guy.
We don't say last names, just try to keep some kind of privacy there.
Oh,
so
I forgot.
If it is him.
Oh, you're fired now. I'm
no.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No,
Is that get out of jail free card?
It's like he rubbed the magic lamp. Is that Ken Alexander?
Yeah.
And if it is, let us know, Ken, because it'd be kind of funny. And certainly not last, but the last one we picked for the nightly drawing would be our first place winner. And again, you're going to get to choose from any size comp, Q, any size impedance, woofer you'd like for that, along with a pair of the koozies and a gray unmasked t-shirt. So winner number 1 tonight, who is that, Bill? Who is it?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know that guy.
You do?
That guy sent me this pocket knife right here.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
Well, then you guys say who it is. You know him.
That is Mr. Jason Zemer, aka El Fuego. He won't mind.
El Fuego?
I believe so. If I'm wrong, correct me.
But from Seattle. He from Seattle?
I believe so.
Well, hopefully we got the right person then.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, so hopefully we got the right guy called out, but it's Jason Z from Seattle. You are our grand prize winner tonight. That means you're going to get the choice of the woofer, the shirt, and the couple of koozies. And again, for all our winners, you can reach out to Bill. His email is social@kicker.com, or he will email you tomorrow. And the information we need is your actual shipping address, no P.O. box, a phone number so we can put that on the shipping information, and confirm your shirt size. So I'd like to say congratulations to all 3 winners from tonight's contest. Thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for entering the contest. It's just a small way that we, Kicker, give back to you and show you our appreciation for tuning into the show. And maybe you've never tried a Kicker product, and it's your chance to actually try some of our stuff.
Yeah. Join the family.
Join the family. That's what we'd like to see. Join the family. So with that said, I want to recount.
This is the problem. Now I'm here, and all of a sudden I know 2 of the people possibly that might have won.
So you know 2 of the people. Man, it's rigged.
It might be.
Deviant might be right. It could be rigged, but we only rig it against Deviant. Only against him, but you know.
Check the voting machines.
I call misquote voter fraud. Excellent show tonight. Congrats to the winners. Hey, Tomcat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that comment. Excellent show. Or gal. Tomcat could be either one, guy or gal.
Sure.
I better make sure I cover both bases there. That 15. Oh wait, here we go. Whoa, it must be.
It's El Fuego.
It's El Fuego. That 15 is going in my 2021 4Runner. Congratulations, El Fuego. Pick out what you need. Reach out. That'll be awesome. It's funny. El Fuego, El Fuego, El Fuego. Totally rigged. They let Robert's friend. Well, Robert did pre-pick the winners. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, you had the hat with the names in there, and I'm sorry.
Congrats to the winners.
You should have been nicer to me. If you didn't win, you should have been nicer to me.
So with that said, that takes care of tonight's nightly winners. Thank you all. But this is the cherry on top of the giveaway Sunday, and that would be with our good friend, Mr. Mark Eldridge from Mobile Soundstage Engineering. Jeremy, bring him on into the feed so we can have him join us. He looks awake, which is good. Anything else is a bonus. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, man. How are y'all doing?
We are doing well. I'm just turning up my headset here so I can hear you. I had it turned down earlier because it was like gangster rap was playing in my ears when they first came on.
I don't know what Ernie's doing back there. I don't.
Yeah, it was mildly refreshing at the same time scary.
There you go.
So Mark, first off, sincerely from all the Kicker family, thank you for working with us and doing this contest, and especially for being on the show and talking about that.
Yeah.
And I want to extend the invitation out that if you're open to it, we'd love to have you back on the show again at a future date because I think what you have to offer is just fantastic. So it's an open door, and just want you to know that we'd love to have you back anytime.
You just let me know. If I've got the time, I'll be on.
You know what?
I want to be in the comments asking all about the old days. That's what, I love that stuff. I can't get enough of it.
I think Mark is definitely one of those guys. I mean, there's a handful of people that if you got them all together around a campfire with the right enticement, it could be hours of entertainment. Hours.
Easily.
I know that for a fact.
Well, you know, in the class, this last one we did just a couple weeks ago, we had some dinosaurs in that class. And, you know, we could have gone on for 2 days just talking about old stuff. You know, but we didn't. We had to get through, you know, everything else. But, you know, you get together with some of the old guys or some of you guys from Kicker that I worked with for so many years. Yeah, we could go on for hours and hours and hours. So.
You know, Mark, and if you're anything like me, you probably can't remember everything. You just know where it's at and you can go find it.
Pretty much.
we did have a couple of the guys who came and attended your class. Was that 2 weeks ago? If I got
Yeah.
that right, or 3 weeks
2
ago?
weeks ago. Yeah.
Do you remember Josh White?
Oh yeah. Yep.
And I feel bad. I cannot remember his friend that came along with him, his name, because it was the first time I met him, but maybe you remember his name. Those two gentlemen actually stopped here on the way to your class and stopped on their way back home, and they got a little tour of the place, and I took them out to breakfast here in Stillwater, so that was a good time. They said that they had a blast, and that they drove into your class. They came in from Seattle.
Yeah, they were way up northwest. Yeah.
Way up there, and they said that they can't wait to come back for another class with you. They said it was some of the best informational, fun times they've had in a long time. So,
good.
Shout out to you. That's two of your students. They just absolutely loved it. Ken, thanks. If it was rigged, Rob and I say you're welcome.
Okay. I didn't believe him at first, but now it may be. Who knows?
Manuel, thank you for saying that, man, guys. If you can, don't have to do it this second, but when the feed's over and you're exiting, if you could hit that thumbs up button, we'd sure appreciate that. It lets us know that what we're doing is content you like, and it just gives us the fuel and the facts that we need to keep on doing this, and it makes our bosses happy. And happy bosses mean we can keep on doing these cool things. So if you can, do us a favor and smash that on the way out the door. And of course, totally rigged. Well, of course it is, Dean. You didn't win. Of course it's rigged.
He's a winner just by having us as friends. So
dinosaurs. Kip, HiFi, and Big D were in the class.
He's not wrong. You're not wrong.
But what's going to be cool is we've worked with Mark, and we've got this prize package to give away. We've drawn a winner, and this winner is going to get, he's got to get him or herself here. Once they get here, we're going to pick up their hotel rooms, staying over with you in Bixby.
Yep.
And then we're going to cover the class. That's a thing that you've worked out with us. We're
Yeah,
going to
we'll
share
work that
the
out.
cost on that. That's fantastic. We're going to get the class on them. Then we're going to get them over here to Stillwater on Monday night. They'll be here Monday night on another hotel room provided by us. Then they'll come in Tuesday. They'll get a full tour of Kicker here. They'll come on to the Kicker Unmasked Live show that Tuesday night. They have a room for Tuesday night, and then Wednesday they get themselves back to wherever their destination is bringing them from. And we're going to throw $250 cash in to help them cover some of their expenses, whether it's meals or drinks or travel expense, whatever they want to. So we're throwing some cash in. We estimate the value of this prize package well over $1,500.
Yeah, I would think so. That's that's just amazing. And it's a full class. The class is already full, so we got 14 people, and that's it. So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time.
Jesse Strawn says, I'm already here, pick me. He's local. He says, just pick me. So something, and I want to make sure you're okay with this, Mark. We were real clear on this in the beginning that, if you enter this contest, be sure you really want to commit to this, because you're going to have to have a little skin in the game yourself, whether it's a plane ticket in and out or if driving. Whoever the winner is or where they're located might dictate that.
Right.
But if we're going to announce the winner, and if you are the winner and you sincerely do not see yourself coming to the class, if you're not going to pay to get here and do the thing, what we would ask of you is please contact us and let us know that, because we would like to then pull from the same pool of people and pull another winner, because we want someone who's actually going to come and attend this class. And so if you've entered and you've changed your mind and you don't think you can do it, or you can't get the time off work, or whatever it may be, give us enough heads up and grace so that we can pull another winner, because we want to put a butt in that seat over there with Mark.
Or just email me at HiFi Vega
and
I'll take his spot.
and just want to make sure, Mark, are you okay with that? Because we certainly want to get a winner over there, and if someone can't do it, okay.
Yeah, we want somebody who's going to get something from the class. And
perfect.
In these days, if you're doing high-end car audio and you want your car to sound good, that's what we get into, is just what you need to know to make your car sound good. So if that's what you want to do, doesn't matter your experience level. I mean, we have guys that have been in the industry a year. I had guys there that have been in the industry longer than I have 2 weeks ago. Everybody's welcome, and everybody gets something out of it. So there you go.
Okay, so with that said, I'm going to let Bill bring the winner up on the bottom of the screen. And Mark, if you would do the honors and actually announce who the winner is, I'd certainly appreciate that, sir.
You bet.
Okay, Bill, that's your cue, sir. Who's our winner for the MSE giveaway?
Looks like the winner is Stephen C. of Roseville, California. All right, Steven.
We are very, very proud to be involved with this giveaway and contest with you, Mark. You are definitely one of the, and you know, you're very humble and gracious, but you are one of the legends of high performance, true car audio, and what you're doing for the community is fantastic. And being able to work with you and do this drawing through the show here, we sincerely appreciate you being involved and can't say thank you enough.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, I know what I know, but I'm standing on the shoulders of giants myself just to be where I'm at. So, you know, we all get it from somewhere.
Well, as I jokingly tell people, and the older I get, the more true it is, I wake up every day and find out just how dumb I really am.
Yeah. Yeah, you can learn something every day. This last class 2 weeks ago, I mean, I learned a couple things. Some of the recordings I've used for years. And Brian Piper started explaining some of one of these recordings. I was like, I never knew that, and it explains why it sounds that way. You know, so I learn something every time I teach a class.
That's absolutely right. I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on that. I mean, if you're paying attention, you learn something every day. Ben H says, congrats to the winners. And I want to bring this up because Marcus Nance asked, how do I register for Mark's classes? So Mark, I guess the real question would be, number one, are all your classes, and this one is August 21st and 22nd. That is correct, right?
Yeah.
Is that class full?
It is full. It is full. Okay. Now, if somebody backs out, I might have a seat open. Follow me on Facebook. Follow Mobile Soundstage Engineering on Facebook. That's where, I mean, I'm an old guy. I use Facebook, okay? So check there, and that's where you'll see stuff. I may schedule another class later this year, another basic class. I am scheduling right now, and it's not official yet, but I'm going to do an advanced class that's just tuning the systems in your cars, and it's limited only to those that have attended this class to begin with. So it'll be 2 days of nothing but tuning cars, and that'll be cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Gone Blown 2, I had to bring this up and look through the comment feed while you're filling us in. Mark says, so close, I'm Stephen C. from Cali, but not Roseville.
I bet you saw your name there and thought, I won, and then it was
oh, it's not me. Or we have a running joke here, and it's always the right joke to play at the right time, but we'll go, and all this is not for you.
Right.
So yeah, Gone Blown 2, yeah, so close. Same name, but different addresses, so sorry about that. And of course, you got to expect something classy from Andy. Awesome show, everyone. Great job, Mr. Vega and Kip. Thank you, Kicker, for putting on these weekly shows. You know, Andy, thank you for tuning in and being here. And we really couldn't get these shows to be what they are without interaction from the other people who are part of the car audio community. And Mark, you're certainly one of those guys. And again, thank you for being here.
You bet.
I know you're a busy man, so we're going to let you get going and do what you need to do. I got Vega here, so I'm going to probably run the show a little bit over for the people who hang on. But we will reach out to you, get everything arranged. We've got the winner and everything. And,
put Stephen C. in touch with me, the one from Roseville, not the other one. And we'll get them picked up and fire them.
If you start getting like 6 or 7 or 8 applications of a Stephen C., you might want to verify it's the right Stephen C. Will the real Stephen C. please stand up?
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you here on the 21st and 22nd. It's going to be fun.
All right. Y'all take care. See you.
Thank you, sir. Good night. So that was Mr. Mark Eldridge tuning in, help us announce the winner live of the Mobile Soundstage Engineering Contest. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We still have people hanging on. So what I'm going to say for the people who are still tuned in, and there's a lot more people tuned in than I expected, Rob, who's better shout out to?
We can't speak of that. They're traders. It's 12E talk or nothing.
We got a deviant?
Yeah. Real men rate their amps at 12 volts.
Let's see here. Your boss now watching HiFi. You're in trouble, brah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I am now the official co-host. I made it here live. You guys can't stop me now.
I don't think we can stop you. He's like, Rob has said to me several times that he is the official co-host of Unmasked Live, and I think that was part of your gig to be here today. You're trying to seal the deal.
Yeah, I mean, I got to. That's how to see. At first, you might not like me. I might annoy you, but then eventually you grow to love me. I'm always there. Always, when you turn around, I'm right there, and then eventually you love me.
Okay, for those who get it, you'll get it. So what you're telling me is, Costanza.
Yes, exactly.
For those who get it, you get it.
What was that by Menon? Was that the original?
That was by Menon. My man. So I'm not even going to try to pronounce that because I'm going to get it all wrong. But here's the question: when are the 47 KSMT 2504s? Man, you got the full model number. Wow. I applaud you for that. Going to be made available. Hopefully soon. I don't have the sheet in front of me. We actually covered release dates. It's been a few shows back, and we talked about we basically updated all the product coming from SEMA. My man Tim, he's already got his phone out, so I know what he's looking for. As soon as he's got some information off of our new product update, I will make that announcement here.
I don't even know what that is. What is it?
The NPU? Or that?
No, the SKU. What is that? These?
That's it right there.
See? I didn't know. Snowman. These are called the Snowman. You don't have to write all that out.
You know, it's like Smokey and the Bandit. That's the Snowman
that's
right
the Snowman.
there. But yeah, Tim's actually looking up. He's looking up the NPU as soon as he pulls that sheet up. We did cover that in a previous show, and it's probably time, maybe in the next show, we need to kind of run down through all those SKUs from SEMA and let you know what the status is. And some of them actually shipped. We don't have them in stock here right now, like the power bars. We don't have a single one in stock. Our dealers have some. So we actually have got some of those in. They've come and gone out. We need to see an arm wrestle between Kip and Rob and go.
You don't want to see two old guys arm wrestle?
No. What do you want? What are you trying to do to us?
We're too old for that.
And the cool part about this, there's a lot of comments I just can't show, guys, but they are funny comments. That's work well in pairs. That's a nice one. I like that one. But any other questions? Seriously, if any guys have, I know we're running a little bit long here tonight. We're at 9:15. I'm okay running a little bit long if you guys got questions. It's really kind of a special show to have this guy actually live here in the studio with us. So if you've got something, throw it out
ready.
there.
They fed me a steak.
We
had a steak and mashed potatoes with gravy. And Ernie was so inspired that he changed from a baked potato and also got him a mashed potato with gravy. Loaded, by the way.
Ernie is a loaded baked potato guy. I mean, that's when we go, which tonight was Texas Roadhouse.
Right. I mean,
Ernie actually picked, for the record, folks, it's not tonight. It was actually yesterday, but Ernie's birthday was yesterday. So if you want to give a shout out to Ernie, that was actually his birthday yesterday. So we celebrated tonight here in the studio. We had Texas Roadhouse, and it was a good time. Okay, so Tim's just looked up on the KSMT 2504s. He is saying from the current NPU should be any day roughly. So what that means is the product's been through all the stages. It's actually shipped. It's either on a container, on a boat. It's on a container on the land. It could be in a container coming this way on a train. We don't know, but according to the NPU that Tim looked up, any day now. So they're close. Real close. We'll announce it on the show as soon as they actually land here in the building and we're shipping them out the door. We'll let you know. Eastbound and down, roll up. Happy birthday, Kip. Hey, Bobby, thanks. You know, it's kind of ironic. Ernie and I share a lot of common personality traits. I mean, we're not the same, but we share some traits. Ernie's birthday is on the 5th. My birthday happens to be on the 9th. So
yeah, you both got a sombrero today.
We both got a sombrero today at lunch, so that was kind of interesting. Happy birthday, Ernie. Thanks, Steve. We appreciate that. Yeah, Ernie, what are you, 29 now?
Yeah. I think the lady said 23.
And holding? Yeah. Thomas Marshall, thank you for the heads up. The happy birthday. Appreciate that, man. Another Ernie celebrated his 1 year around the sun yesterday. I'll be celebrating mine in just a couple days. I think some Twisted Tea is going to be in my future.
Got to do it.
I think that's going to happen.
Is that what's in this bottle? Right? I don't know.
It's water, as far as you know.
Oh. Dean asked, what's the best display back here? And you know I'm a wire guy, so way back there in the back, there's a wire display.
You like the wire display?
I like the wire display.
Deviant for Life, shout out birthday, Kip. Bobby, you cancer too? If so, I don't know which day it is, but if it was in the past, happy birthday. And if it's coming up, happy birthday to you too, man. Ernie and I are both cancers. We're birthdays in July. It was kind of funny when Ernie and I got talking about things. We found out we both have birthdays not only in July but only days apart. It was like, that explains a lot of stuff right there.
We're the same.
Things became very clear at that moment, both the good and the bad.
Deviant, what's he say up there?
Where's he at? Deviant?
He wants the Bash Brothers shout out. So definitely. I coined him in 25, the Bash Brothers, and they evolved it into 14.4 volt talk.
Which is the underground show that goes on during 12 volt.
They don't
talk.
listen to what we're saying. They're talking about what they're talking about, and yeah.
Now, 14.4 volt talk can be found trolling your favorite other car audio shows.
Every one of them.
Every one
of them. They show up every week.
Mike B, that's a good. Hey, here's Cornut. I'll be 42 on the 14th. Happy birthday, Cornut. Man, there's a lot of people who have July birthdays. You know, I knew the world was full of great people who had birthdays in July, and here they are.
Some the best people.
Hey, Scott, Power Hog, thanks, man. I appreciate the birthday wishes. Ernie and I both do. We certainly appreciate it, man. My birthday is coming, and I think I'll turn 29 this year.
Oh, that's a good age.
There is a point where you just get to be whatever age you want. Ask Steve to bring back the upgrade program. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll bring that up with Steve or the appropriate channels. We'll discuss that. John Booth, I'm July 18th, so hey, here's another July birthday. I had, yeah, go through here. Was there another comment? Oh, here we go. All right, here you go. Thanks, Bobby. You sent me a picture. You didn't have to do that, man. I certainly appreciate it. When I get it, I will post a picture up and let you know. And I'll let you know what I think about it, too. So, man, you're too kind. Thank you, sir, very much. I appreciate it. I'm humbled. Living Loud with Andy. Kip, you have the same birthday as my sister. Hey, July 9th birthday with your sister.
Yeah.
So, everyone, thank you for the birthday wishes. Ernie, thank him for the birthday wishes as well. It's not just we had a special guest, but Ernie's birthday, he's like, we're having Texas Roadhouse. So,
yeah.
Ernie got his prime rib tonight.
Is anyone ever mad when you get Texas Roadhouse?
Ever.
Could anybody ever be? I mean, come on.
No. It's like, when do we get mad we have Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Never.
I didn't even eat one roll today, which is crazy.
Whoa.
I just kept it to the steak and the mashed potatoes.
Regular Guy Audio, which I don't know if I know who this guy is, but I've caught myself. I finally can actually say Regular Guy Audio because every time I see his name, I just want to say Regular Audio Guy.
Yeah. Well, you call him RGA for short.
That's what I do. It's like, Bobby B, I just call him Bobby B. It's just Bobby B for short. So Regular Guy, I don't age. I just accumulate miles. You know what?
Yeah.
It's not the age. It is the miles that wear you out.
Yeah.
Chicken for the win.
Oh,
I don't die. Cats are
steak. Steak here.
Tony, cats are dogs.
Dogs, no question.
Okay, I'm a dog guy. I have to use the word we because I can't use the word I. My wife and I have 2 dogs and we have 2 cats.
Oh.
So I'm more the dog guy, but she loves the dogs too.
Yeah.
She's more the cat person, but I don't dislike the cats. They're actually. We got them as kittens. One of them, we didn't know who he was, but if he's not 100% Siamese, he's 99%. Yeah. And his name is Max, and he's just got a cool personality to him. But it's her cat. Like he sees me, and it's like, "What's up, bro?"
Yeah.
And then I'm going to talk to him. It's like I acknowledge you, but
he lets you live at his house.
He lets me live at his house.
Right. Cats don't need you. Dogs, they won't make it 2 days without you. Cats,
correct.
You could be gone for weeks and they don't care.
So for better or for worse, I personally have 2 cats and 2 dogs, and then the one cat, Maggie, and she's Bill called her a muted, so I don't know what that means. I just look at her and she's just got all these different colors through her. I don't know what kind of cat she is, but she's a sweetheart cat, and she's my cat. I mean, when I'm home, that cat comes and finds me, and fortunately the dogs and the cats get along, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah, because otherwise it'd be a total disaster. So yeah, I have both cats and dogs. I guess I qualify as at camp where I got both, so that's good. Here's a good question. Oh, this is going to be good. Big. Tell Big Earn, hey, Big Earn.
Yeah.
I'm watching the clock. You had your prime rib.
I got the big one too.
Okay, we're just gonna shut down and leave you 2 here in a minute. We're going to Buffalo.
Yeah, just start cutting the lights off, man. On us, yeah.
We're almost. We're about there. They want to go to B-dubs. Can you imagine that? But here's if they get up and leave, it don't matter. We'll just shut the studio down.
We'll just keep going.
So, Joe Hedden, hopefully I pronounced your last name right, Joe. Appreciate Class AB versus Class D technology in regards to sound quality competition.
I think the winners say it all. Everyone's using Class D nowadays. I mean, very few people are using a Class A amp in current car audio, in the winner's circle. It's just because it's less efficient now. Class D has came light years from 1990 to now.
That's why I wanted you to take the question first. Here's what I'm going to say about that topic. There was a time when Class D was a inferior amplifier technology for audio that we use. And understand the classes of amplifiers, car audio manufacturers didn't develop those. Those classes, Class D technology was created in, I think it was, if I got my facts straight again, I think it was 1953. And it was the Society of Audio Engineers. They come up with these classes. And when Class D first came out, it was really for radio, short burst transmission. It was very noisy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of things, but Class D was very efficient. And so over the years, as things gone on, and I'm trying to think, the first Class D amps, I think it was Infinity. I think it was. Yeah, it was Infinity. They had a couple amps, and I'm not knocking on Infinity. I mean, there's always got to be somebody who's first. But were they great sounding amplifiers? No.
No, and in fact, most people just only use them on subs in the beginning. So
correct. And the thing with the way a Class D amplifier works that's different than Class AB. Class AB has always kind of been, quote unquote, the gold standard as far as what people have been taught or educated to lean on as far as the technology. There's Class A. Class A is probably still, by today's standard, considered the reference, but Class A is very inefficient. It's about 25% efficient. It's horrible efficiency. If you buy a Class A amplifier, like a real true 25 watt by 2 Class A amplifier for car would be about that long, I mean, it's huge because it's inefficient, takes a huge power supply, and it draws power all the time. So there is no point where it draws less power, more power. It draws, if it's designed to draw 30 amps for full output, it draws 30 amps all the time, even if there's no signal running through it. It's just constant 30 amp draw, making heat. Class AB was the compromise where they figured out, okay, if we have this set of transistors do the positive half of the waveform, and this set of transistors do the negative half of the waveform, and we let them overlap just a little bit, then we can have an amplifier that's way more efficient, 50%, which is helpful, and still have good sound quality. And the thing with Class A or Class AB when you get into the sound quality discussion is, on a Class AB amplifier, on all Class AB amplifiers, when you're listening to music, and all music, whatever frequency, tone, whatever it is, it has to go up and come back down, cross the zero line, and then it swings negative and comes back up, and then it goes positive again. Well, where it crosses over that zero line, it's called crossover notch distortion. And it's where the positive transistors turn off, and then the negative transistors turn on, and then the negative transistor turns off, and the positive transistor turns on, and every time that transistor turns off, there's a collapse of a magnetic field, and there is a burst of energy that comes out of that. And by biasing the amplifier, and by biasing, what that means is the negative wave transistors versus the positive, we're going to turn the negatives on before zero, and we're going to turn the positives off after zero. That overlap right there helps mask or control that crossover notch distortion so you don't hear it in the audio path. The warmer you bias an amplifier, the longer the negative swings in the positive, and the further the positive swings into the negative. So you can bias an amplifier very deep, or you can bias an amplifier very little. And if you look on an amplifier on a oscilloscope, you can see crossover notch distortion. It happens. So Class AB amps, they use feedback circuits and all sorts of stuff to try to control that and get it. And Class AB amps, do they sound good? Yeah, they've kind of been considered the gold reference standard for years. But here's what I'll tell you. Class D, even though it had a black eye to begin with because of all the negatives that people wanted to put out there, there are some things that Class D does better than Class AB. Number one thing that Class D does better than Class AB is there's no crossover notch distortion in a Class D amplifier. Because of the way the amplifier works, it's constant switching back and forth, and it's just pulse widths that control whether it swings this far positive, this far negative. There's no crossover notch. So you don't even have to deal with that in a Class D amplifier design. So that's a really great thing right there. The other thing is Class D amplifiers tend to not have as much third order harmonic distortion when they go into that area. So they can tend to be a little more musical if it's a properly designed Class D amplifier. Right. Now the downside to Class D amplifiers is they're noisy. There's lots of RF and EMI that you have to, in the design of the amplifier, where you got to shield it or ground it or contain it or use parts to get away from it. But really the thing that's made Class D take the forefront is it's finally to the point where the devices, Kicker doesn't make the devices, JL doesn't make devices, Rockford doesn't make devices. We simply buy transistors, we buy microprocessors, and we put them together and design our amplifiers. And the products that we can source, the switching frequency of the devices and the ability of the microprocessors to go at a faster frequency has gotten to the point where now we can switch at a much higher frequency, way out of the audio band. There is every Class D amplifier out there has a low-pass inductor filter, and what that's for is to remove the hash or garbage that exists on all Class D designs. They all have it, guys. That low-pass inductor filter removes it. Just like you can use a crossover to take and prevent a certain frequency from going to a speaker, all Class D amplifiers have a low-pass inductor filter to remove all that high-frequency hash out of there. And with Class D now being able to switch at 60,000 kilohertz, 80,000 kilohertz, it's well above the 20 kilohertz that we as human beings can hear. So a properly designed Class D amplifier, is it musical? Yes. Does it sound good? Yes. Can it win sound quality competitions? Yeah. Yes, they do it every day. And for me, probably the thing that is the glowing testimonial to Class D, to just give you an idea where it's at, is they've moved to Class D on home products. Right. And no matter what you do in a car, unless you're sitting still in your car, not moving, not driving, no accessories on, you don't have a real quiet environment to listen to something to. It's a high noise floor in a car. Yeah. That's why you do things like dampening and deadening material and all these things, so that at road speed you're keeping all that noise out. Home audio manufacturers have moved to Class D. It lets them get more power out of the 1,500 watts they can pull out of the electrical outlet, so they can get more usable watts into speaker energy. It allows these manufacturers to now make 9 and 11 channel home receivers to do Dolby Atmos and all the extra channels they need. And what I'll tell you is I currently have, it's an Onkyo piece, I think it's TX-RZ 920 or 9020, it's what I use at home right now, and it's a Class D home amplifier. I'm picky. I can't hear a thing wrong with it. It sounds great. So there's always going to be that kind of like this. Well, it's Class A, B, or it's nothing, or even it's Class A or it's nothing, or it's always going to exist, and it's just people have perceptions. But a properly designed Class D amplifier does not sound bad. In fact, they can sound very good. Yeah. So that's a long answer.
Yeah, don't listen to me. I listen to Bluetooth in my car, and I couldn't hear the difference. We're going to B-dubs. I already said it.
We're going to take these last two questions and we're going to call it. All right. Maybe, just maybe tomorrow you and I will do another short feed in the morning if someone wants to tune in.
Hey, I'm here.
You're here, might as well.
All that's at home for me is other work. So.
Other work. Yeah. Mike B, how much does dynamic of power affect sound quality? Mike, that's an interesting question. We at Kicker have actually moved away, and we started with our marine amplifiers that are coming out this year in the new KXMAs. We have removed peak power ratings from the amplifiers because it is just a number that is convoluted. It doesn't mean anything. Even though, and here's the crazy part is, on paper, any true 400 watt RMS amplifier is capable of 800 watt peak by math. Right. The problem is the power supply capable of it? Is everything else capable of it? Well, that's not the math anymore. That's where the rubber meets the road. So peak power ratings, bottom line, peak power ratings are used to make you feel better about your purchase because you see more watts for the amount of money you spend into it. And in the golden oldie days, where it was truly a couple bucks a watt. Yeah. If you go back far enough, that's where manufacturers started lying about the power, so you felt better buying. Well, here I bought twice as much power for the same amount of money. When you then put it on a dyno, no, you didn't. You actually got ripped off.
And it's not for these guys. Like, these guys in the chat are very smart and they understand this. Right. It's for the guy, the buddy that's walking up to you, like, hey man, check out this 800 watt sub right here.
Exactly.
That's for that guy.
It's for that guy. So what I'll tell you is, we have started, you'll see it happening across all of our amplifier lines, is we are pulling peak power ratings off. We're not going to use them anymore. But what we are doing is we're going to start putting dynamic power ratings on all of our amplifiers. And the first line of amplifiers you'll see that in will be the new KXMAs. And we have to do it a step at a time because we don't change all of our products every year at the same time. So as we roll the products over and we decide this is how we're going to do things, that's the first amplifiers in the lineup. So I don't want to pick on one, but I think like one of the amplifiers, it's rated 404. I think the dynamic power rating on it's like 500 or 600 watts.
Yeah.
And what that means is these guys, like you and Big D out there, who take amplifiers and they actually do the certified test, they do the uncertified test, and then they do a dynamic test. You'll be able to take a kicker amplifier and it'll say, I'm 400 watts RMS, I'm 500 watts dynamic. You run an amp dyno on it, that's the same numbers you're going to see. And what's that for is to show that there is some dynamic headroom in the power supply, there's some dynamic headroom in the design, and that those times when the amplifier is not using all of its energy, but you've got dynamic peaks. And the thing I got to remind you of, dynamic peaks are when there's real music. I don't mean sine waves playing at full tilt volume. I mean music that has dynamic, da da ba boom boom boom, or rock and roll, or classic rock, or anything that's got some dynamics to it. Jazz, country, rock. I mean, yeah, there's anything that's got that, and if an amplifier has that dynamic headroom, so if that amplifier's sitting there and it's cruising along using 50, 60, 75 watts per channel, and it's got this dynamic headroom capability, and all of a sudden this dynamic burst comes on, whether it's a cymbal crescendo, or a snare drum, or a bass drum, or a guitar, whatever it is, and it hits, that amplifier has that extra headroom that it can utilize that power and reproduce that signal. So dynamic power is a real thing. Dynamic power does not take the place of RMS continuous power, but it is two things you can talk about on an amplifier that will tell you something about its performance. Peak power tells you absolutely nothing.
No, it lies.
That's why we're getting away from it.
That's the only thing it tells you is lies.
Yes, it's lies. Lies, lies, and more lies. So hopefully, Mike, that answered your question. You know, there are so many questions.
If you do another one, Ernie's going to come get you. I know it. I know.
We're gonna here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw one more thing up. Liquid Dragon 86. Thanks everyone. Unmasked makes Tuesday night so much fun.
It's fun for me.
And I gotta tell you, it's a pleasure and a blast, sincerely, to have you live in the studio here.
Oh, I'm honored that you had me live after I invited myself.
I'm gonna make you an offer.
Yeah.
You can't resist.
That's how it is. I told you I'll make you love me. I'll make you love me, no matter how long it takes.
I tell you, I think I'm gonna have to get a shirt made for you that's just Costanza. So with that said, I'm just looking to see if there's one more, and we're gonna roll it out here because Ernie, he's chomping at the bit for his BW3. He can't. Thanks, Kicker, for another special show. You're entirely welcome. I'm just looking for. Oh, there you go. I'm going to end it on a funny one. Jay Bordeaux or Bordy, Bordeaux. Man, Jay, I apologize if I got your last name butchered there. Why isn't there a Class C amplifier out there? It's messed up how they bypass C like that. Well, the reason they don't have a Class C amplifier is because Class C doesn't work well for audio amplification in the 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz bandwidth that we need to use for audio, and that's why. There's lots of other clairs, A, B, C, D, G, H, T. I mean, I can't remember them all, but trust me, brother, there's a lot more classes than just the A and the AB that we like to talk about, and of course D is the one that gets everybody fired up.
Right.
So,
well, in the Class C, I think that the people that named it might have been gang members for the Bloods, and then remember they didn't used to say C. So that's how that happened.
Man, here we go. So awesome show tonight. Matt Starkey, thank you, sir. So with that said, if I do not end the show right now, Ernie and the guys are literally going to walk out of the studio and leave you and myself to close things down.
Yeah,
so to prevent that and the look I'm getting from Tim, we're going to roll this thing up. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say thank you enough for tuning in tonight. I knew it was going to run a little bit long with all the things we had to draw and give away, and especially having our special guest, Mr. HiFi Vega himself here. Sir, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
you got anything you want to add to the fine folks out there before we roll out?
Yeah, the first Unmasked, after it ended, and you guys all, yay, I got a little emotional. I'm going to say. It was nice.
So did we.
Yeah. It was a good time. That's all I want to say. Uh-oh. I got him. I got him for you guys.
All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. For all you who stayed for the extra content, ran a little bit long, I appreciate it. And I do thank the guys for hanging in there. It's really tough to want to cut this off when you got someone like this join us. But it's my pleasure. We got Tim behind the cameras. We got Ernie on the main switcher. We got JW giving him a hand and getting the comments on the screen to make sure things run smooth. As always, Bill Frog's running social media. It's my pleasure to be the knucklehead in front of the camera. Mr. Kip Litzy here. For my special guest, Robert HiFi Vega, joining me tonight. for the 200 plus employees who make a living here designing products every day that we love doing. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next Tuesday. Have a good one.
I don't know what to do with